Happy Black Friday.
What's going on?
What is going on, everyone? Are people actually shopping today or what's happening? What are you thinking?
And I have to tell you, my wife was just talking to me about possibly going to a store after this. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to go to a store, I'll be honest.
I don't want to go to a store.
There's a really good deal on some we need like a couch that swivels around because we have a fireplace behind our seating area. So we could have the couch turned towards the fireplace and then we could have it turned towards the TV. Now that'd be pretty cool, you know.
Oh, dude, did I set mine on private? What the heck?
What's that?
It says it's a private video.
No, we're good.
I do? Are we good?
No, we're good. Yeah, we already
right.
People are already here.
Okay. For some reason, I tried to comment on live on the StreamYard and it says I can't comment.
Oh, well, let's see.
Did I mess up?
No, I added this live stream to my Brandon, like my Be the Installer one, but I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
No, it says I can comment. Let me try. Comment.
Yeah, I think it is. Making
YouTube
sure everyone
doesn't
sees
support
us.
comments on private videos.
Isn't that weird? We'll comment, guys, but we can't. It appears that we may not be able to post the comments. Is that it?
Well, let's just see. Maybe we do have it. Let's go. I'm going to go back into the setup and see. Go ahead and just, if you want to warm us up. Well, first of all, let me say something while we're waiting. We actually have a sponsor for this. What's up, everyone? Hope everyone's doing well. Make sure to like and subscribe. Obviously, we just started, so thanks for joining us. What's up, Rick? What's going on, Dave? All these guys that have been around keeping up with the Joneses. What's going on? If you guys are in the market for some products, look, we got a couple cool little overlays. Look, Manscaped, a gift for your wish list. But it's kind of funny. These are cool. But really, if you guys want, we're being sponsored by manscaped.com. You just go manscaped.com/remote and you get 25% off the entire website. So go ahead and make sure you do that. And I'm going to let FOMO talk here while I try to figure out why our comments not working.
And okay, so speaking of Manscaped, obviously they are a sponsor. And I'm going to tell you guys real quick about the holidays gift giving because my favorite product at Manscaped right now is for just under $100 with our promo code. Ho, 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 gentlemen. The holidays came early here at Manscaped, the leading men's hygiene brand. I didn't even know it was a man's hygiene brand until I hit 100,000. Then they reached out to me and I found out all about it. They just launched their new product, including the all-new Ultra Premium Body Wash and 2-in-1 Shampoo and Conditioner. It's time to give yourself or someone who needs it the gift of a beautiful skin, hair, and balls today, this holiday season. Now, this is what I like about it. The scent is actually pretty good. I've been using all of their stuff for the last month. I have I think it's their super duper, it's like this package that is
the Manscaped, the 4.0,
the 4.0, right? The performance, the high performance,
high performance 4.0. You get these,
the performance package 4.0. Yeah, I like it, and I have to say it feels refreshing all around, and I will be using it. I love the boxers though. In the 4.0 package, you get the boxers. Definitely my favorite, and I'm going to try the trimmers for a while. I've been using it. It's pretty good. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys how I'm using it, but it's pretty good. Oh, those boxers definitely better.
Not bad. They look similar. Yeah, they look similar to like the Tommy John's ones. They look nice. These are out of the box yet. I haven't worn the boxers, so don't worry. These are not my dirty underwear.
I have to say, I think the fabric is as good as the Calvin Klein level fabrics. It's not as tight. So maybe I'm getting older. Maybe I'm not as lean and mean as I used to be, but these I find a little bit more comfortable. But how's everyone doing as we figure this all out? Oh, look, the chats are popping up now. Hey,
all. Yeah, man. Yeah, I got you hooked up. We're good. You can comment now. It was set for private on StreamYard, but it was set for public on YouTube. I went into YouTube and added some keywords and stuff. So we're good.
Anyways, something was amiss. All right.
Let us know if you guys have any questions via super chat. We're going to go through some of the deals and then go over some of the TVs we've reviewed this year. And then, probably not going to have time to answer every question. So if you guys, want to stand out and slow us down, you're probably going to have to super chat because there's a lot of info and a lot of people asking about all these products in general. So we'll try to do our best though.
Absolutely. And with that, let me jump into the current deals that I just checked literally within the last hour, so we're all updated. So the thing that I found most surprising, and I don't know if you guys find that surprising as I did, but nothing's changed since last week, or very little has changed. So, just a quick update, the deals you guys have been seeing for the last 10 days have pretty much stayed steady. So, this is proof that the brands and the retailers just want to get this stuff out the door, sell it, get the cash in pockets. So, I want to go over a few quick changes or quick additions that I've had over the last 24 hours that I didn't have before that I thought was important to mention. Most notably, in the 75-inch size, the QN84A. Many of you asked, wait a minute, this sounds like it's the QN85A. It's $100 cheaper, slightly different number. Why not save $100 to get the QN84A? Now, at $1,900, just under $2,000, I think it becomes more compelling than Q90T even, because it is bright. And if you don't watch off angle, it can actually get deep blacks. Contrast is excellent. It's just some of the blooming issues. And we'll talk to Brandon about his experience with the Q85A, because for all intents and purposes, it's very similar. So let me just jump in real quick. $600, X80J 50-inch, one of my favorite TVs. If you're looking for a high quality 50-inch just for movies and streaming, this is a VA panel, unlike the IPS X80Js. And even the IPS panels have been getting great reviews, but this one in particular, great for SDR content. Doesn't get as bright as other TVs, but if you don't need it super bright, solid, great colors out of the box. I did my review with this TV, comparing it with the 60, the Q from Samsung Q60, as well as the U6G. I thought this had the best color. Now,
did you do that? Well, is that a similar price as like the TCL 646 or like the U7? Or you said the U6G you had it
U6G.
Against, right?
U6G is a little bit cheaper.
So you had it
than
against
this.
that one.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
I had it against that. The color on this was just so much better. It's just a completely different TV.
That's what I was wondering about, and so that's good to hear, because I was wondering about that one.
Now, cool. The 650, okay, this is how I describe it. If the X90J, the Sony X90J, or the Sony X900H is a bit out of budget, but you want that kind of good enough color, good enough HDR, this is the U7G. This gets you a couple $100 cheaper than the X90J. The performance is very similar. So if you want X90J type picture quality, is the best way I would describe it. I go with this because the U7G, I feel, has more accurate colors out of the box than the U8G even. Not as bright, but then the blooming actually isn't as bad. This one, very well done in terms of evenly, slightly lifted blacks on the black bar, but then that means the blooming is not so obvious. And same thing, 65-inch size, U7G, also for $900. Great deal in terms of its overall performance. Now, for $1,100, I think the QN85A is now compelling. When it was at $1,500, I was like, just go to the QN90A at that price. But at $1,100, this actually may be my choice over the X90J, because the HDR on this TV is phenomenal. And I know you reviewed this, right? So we're going to go over your review as soon as we get through all these deals. X950H, I think this Sony was a great TV last year for movies and streaming. And this year, again, clearance, brand new, but it's clearance at $1,424. Let's just say $1,400 even. This is a really good price. So if this is your streaming movie TV in a slightly bright room, moderately lit, yes, its blacks are a touch lifted, but in a brighter room, it doesn't really matter. You're not going to notice that. The colors are amazing out of the box. The motion is good, and upscaling has always been good for Sony, even last year's X1 Ultimate processor. So great choice for movie watchers at the 65-inch size. And here we have that special 75-inch QN84A. And what's the difference between the 84A and the 85A? Well, they've answered it, right? This is from Best Buy, from Samsung itself on the Best Buy question. Specifically, the 85A has a slightly more powerful audio system. And if you're getting a soundbar anyway, irrelevant. Save the $100, get the QN84A. Unless someone is having bad experiences with actual image quality, which I don't think is the case. Really, it's just a down-rated audio system, slightly weaker, one less channel, like there's no Atmos that bounces off the ceiling. Not a big deal in my opinion. So 75-inch size, under $2,000, this will get you there. And I think this is actually a pretty good price for that performance. Super bright, but if you're wondering how good it is, wait, because Brandon will remind you what he thinks of this TV. And if you want an OLED at 77-inch, don't forget the LG C10 is still out there. I keep on forgetting to tell people that if LG C1 and the Sony A80J, the discounts didn't go as low as you had hoped. We were all hoping for below 2,800. Not happening on Black Friday. Maybe it's happening later, who knows? But for sure, you can hit the LG 77-inch OLED last year's model at 2,500. And in my opinion, for most people, this is an absolute deal in terms of the image quality. Still an excellent TV, despite the slight improvements in the C1. For most people, I don't think it'll be a big deal because the 77-inch size makes more of an impact than any minor updates from their new processor or Evo panel, right? And let's go quickly down for the soundbars. $100, I think at $100, the 2.1 from Hisense, this is actually pretty good. It is, I think, better than the Roku Alto 6 Plus for an extra $10. You're getting everything a little bit louder, better defined, a little bit more. I know you're all surprised I actually included Vizio, but apparently this soundbar is a favorite by many. And at $200 now, this is definitely a good deal because you're getting rear separate channels. Those side channels you could put behind you, suddenly you're getting the immersive sound effect and subwoofer for $200. This is a good price. Go up a little bit louder, a little bit lower, $680 for a Samsung. This is exclusive to Best Buy. This 5.1.2 channel soundbar for $680 is great. And now if you are at this point, don't consider anything unless you really go upmarket, like the more expensive $1,000 plus models. I think those three kind of represents where we're at right now. And that's it. Let's go talk about what you wanted to talk about, which is, hey, what about our favorite TVs of the year this year? And let me jump in.
I'll talk about I'll talk about anything today, man.
I'm curious, but I am curious about the QN85A. The QN85A, because it was panned by myself mostly because it was IPS and the blooming. But now that all the TVs have been released, you've seen the QNED99, similar, actually more expensive than the QN85A, also super bright. Can you give us a refresher? The QN85A, the QN90A, and the QNED99. Give us a comparison.
Yeah. So for me, I first reviewed the QN90A, and then I reviewed, and I thought that the QN90A looked good, but something about it like suppressed the highlights. I was a little confused at why it looked so, it looked bright, but then in the dark scenes it was so dim and it was kind of weird. And I had the A90J there to look at too, so I was kind of like looking at an OLED. But over time they have made the highlights on the QN90A a little brighter. They've juiced it up a little bit, but the black level was fantastic. And the QN85A was similar from straight on, but from off angle, you could tell it was the IPS or ADS or whatever. So it was a little bit worse, but it was super bright. And I thought it's really bright TV. It looks really nice. And most people probably wouldn't notice that off angle. And then the QNED99, I felt like that I had high expectations for it. And because I had high expectations for it, I was disappointed with it, and the blooming was really bad. And I didn't have a direct comparison, but I'd have to say that the QN85A had better or less blooming than the QNED99. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm just saying, like, this 4K or this 8K QNED99 from LG, I was pretty disappointed. I reviewed a lot of TVs in between them, so I can't say for certain. You can look to ratings to figure out if one is, rated higher on ratings, but the QNED99 just wasn't for me. And I felt like the QN85A could be for a lot of people, even if it's an IPS, which means that at the 85-inch, I could be down with that too as a VA panel. And is the QN85 or 84A, is that VA? I'm sorry, I might have missed saying that.
Yeah, so the QN84A in every way is identical to its 85A more expensive brother with only the audio difference. And the only VA panel in the 85 series is the 85-inch size. So the QN84A only comes in a 75-inch size, and it is in an IPS panel.
Cool, cool.
And
And yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, I was gonna say, Buddy Love, what up,
thanks.
dude?
Hey, man, thanks for your support. So here's a question for you all. Are these TVs in your budget, or any questions in particular about these TVs? Now, I love the QN90A personally, and this is, to me, the prices are so close at the 65-inch size. This is why I can't recommend the QN85A. But at the 55-inch size, you guys saw at 1100, actually, that's not bad. Now we're talking, it's $200 less expensive than the QN90A, but at that price, it's a larger percentage of your overall cost. So I think it's worth considering at that size as well.
And someone just pointed the QN95A. Where is that one? It looks amazing. That is the same as our QN90A. It just doesn't have the one connect box. We don't have the one connect box in America. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that in America, a lot of cords go in the wall. HDMIs and power cords and stuff are already on the wall because we can run things inside the walls. And a lot of European countries, they have stone walls, and this one wire and one connect box seem to work out great for other countries, but we just don't have a lot of those TVs here. And it ends up being kind of like a pain in the butt to have to put that one connect box somewhere when people have spots in their home ready for wall mounted TVs. And then they have to go backwards and then try to find a place to put this one connect box. So that's just the difference between and then there's 4 HDMI 2.1s on the QN95, where we just have one on the QN90, but I think that should change this next year, right? You think
it sounds like it? It sounds like it will. Of course, we will see when it comes, but I believe Samsung is planning for all 4 to be. And also, if you guys notice, MediaTek is releasing its 4-channel HDMI 2.1, right? It's going to have 4 ports. So for Samsung to stay in the game, it's got to have all 4. Not like it matters. So I have to emphasize for those of you who are buying TVs, unless you're gaming 4K 120 HDR on 4 different console or ports or whatever, it doesn't matter. And even adding a switch is fine, right? Most of the switches being sold on Amazon are like under $50, and they all work pretty good. I was going to say that, jumping on your review, so you did the QN85A and the QN90A. Which do you prefer? Given that they're a couple $100, they're almost the same price. Is this something that you would recommend people jump one over the other based on your comparisons?
I think just in general, like I prefer VA panel. So knowing that Samsung can make tweaks in the, the highlights and the black level and things like that, I feel like I would just go QN90A, right? Especially with the close price. And then in the 85-inch, if there was a significant savings to get the 85 or the 84 over the 90, then I would say, knowing that it's really good and that now it's a VA panel at 85, there you go. It's just not, there's just not a whole lot of savings. And I did I think you did an interview too. I did an interview with a brand with like a marketing company. And when I brought up that they shouldn't use IPS panels, they looked at me like I was crazy. And I'm like, and I explained why. I'm like, the blooming and why not just keep using the VA panels? But I don't know, maybe you have some insight on that. I know it's price too, but like, I haven't seen a really good IPS panel in the TV. Have you?
Nope. I know why they use IPS, and they have their reasons for using IPS, which is fine. But the reality is, for what we do, which is watching movies and streaming, I think VA gives you the contrast. It gives you the deeper blacks that we want an OLED for. So, if you want deeper blacks and you want to go OLED, but you can't afford it, IPS definitely doesn't get you there. But IPS could have great color depending on your viewing environment. And what I wanted to demonstrate was, oh, you know what? Let me get the super chat before we jump in. Hey, Mike, thanks for the super chat from Canada. FOMO, thanks for answering the email on the Q90R soundbar. Not shaking hands with the new QN90A. eARC. Turns out Samsung's replacing the motherboard. You got a faulty eARC port. And that's the thing, is you don't know what you don't know. Is it a design flaw, or is the board actually faulty?
That's a port on the TV itself that he's got to get replaced.
Yeah, see, you don't know, because sometimes when you're so here's the worst part about customer support remotely. You don't know if it's the cable. It could be a faulty cable. You don't know if it's a faulty source, right? Whatever the eARC external devices, maybe that's not handshaking. And maybe the TV itself, the software, the actual handshake software is not compatible, or a bad board. You have at least four variables. How do you troubleshoot that? And you're asking a consumer to figure this out. And this is something that I can't necessarily blame the TV makers. It's just an issue across the board where you have the device maker, the cable maker, and so many moving parts. Then you have a firmware update. Did you update your firmware to the most recent firmware? So that is something that we're going to have to deal with. And we hope to walk you guys through that wherever we can. Now, I was going to share this image with you all, and this kind of goes to what we're talking about, excuse me, which is the comparisons. I want to share this real quick here. Okay, so some of you might have caught my tweet earlier about this. So one TV here is one I really like. It's the Sony X95J. And I'll just show you right here. The X95J is here. Why do I like this TV so much? Look at the color. Overall, the color is really good. And these three TVs have all been calibrated, and they were all calibrated by Value Electronics. This one was not calibrated. This is the TCL R646. So this is kind of like my budget TV that's in there for comparisons, right? It's 55 inch, slightly smaller. These are all 65. This is the A90J, Sony's king of TVs for this year, and this is the QN90A. It comes closest to OLED. So what I'm seeing is there is blooming here. Now the black bar is way on top, so forget the black bar for a moment. We know that there's blooming issues generally, but you have blooming below the black bars, and you have blooming right here on the X95J. And I've gone through so many settings to try to address it. It's getting closer. Actually, I got it just a little bit better than this, but this is still there. Look at the QN90A, right? Rock solid. Touch lifted here, but nothing compared to the X95J. And this is the A90J. It's an OLED. Perfect. A touch of crushing here and there, possibly. But also this TV, I'm going to have to... I didn't get a chance to do the exposure properly. So this TV actually was a touch bright, and I had to adjust the lighting on this one, but it's there to represent what OLED looks like or could look like. So this is on Midnight Mass, Netflix. I've looked for other content like Sweet Tooth. I could not find anything that looked this bad. So I don't know if it's a Netflix Dolby Vision issue or non-Dolby Vision. I did straight HDR, took off Dolby Vision on Netflix, right? So I used my Roku Ultra and told Roku that I don't have a Dolby Vision TV. I forced it into HDR only. Samsung obviously unchanged. Sony, it felt like it was actually a touch better. So there's something there with a Netflix Dolby Vision that actually does not look good on a Sony. And I'm going to have to agree. This is very unfortunate for Sony and Netflix, or maybe even Dolby Vision, because the Samsung looked great. It doesn't have Dolby Vision processing. It doesn't matter, because this is much more preferable to any blooming anyway. And all of them are on Dolby Vision Dark. So with that, how has your experience with Netflix Dolby Vision TV on the Sonys been, Brandon? Like, have you experienced anything similar? Do you even watch Minute Mass? Have you seen this episode?
I have not. I just watched a new Christmas movie last night but I use my Apple TV. Is that still relevant then or not? Using the Apple TV on the Sony?
I forget. I think you can turn off Dolby Vision. I believe on Apple TV,
Yeah.
you can toggle and see if that changes anything.
Well, we had it on. I had this new Christmas movie, The Boy Called Christmas or whatever, on. Mm-hmm. My gosh, it was so bright and so beautiful. I mean, it looked amazing.
It does. Well, overall, I have found Netflix Dolby Vision or just Netflix HDR to be phenomenal. What a great job!
I liked it. I was in Dolby Vision bright, and I mean, I'm serious. Like, it was when it went from a dark scene to like a bright scene, it was like blinding. It was so beautiful. So, and then the HTA9 looked amazing, or sounded amazing too. So I was pretty spoiled. We were watching that movie. It's pretty awesome. And let me take the real quick opportunity. If you guys could hit the like button, definitely would be useful to hit the like button. We're trying to get this out to as many people that have questions about TVs today. So if you guys can hit that like button, and also if you have friends or want to share this on social media, just click on the share button copy and paste it to Twitter or Facebook, Instagram, whatever you guys use. That'd be awesome. And make sure that if you guys are looking for some holiday shopping, to grab a hold of this deal from Manscaped and get 25% off. It's awesome. 25% off the entire website. Go to manscaped.com/remote and it automatically qualifies. You don't even have to put a code in. It just automatically gets you the absolute best deal you can get. And so go to manscaped.com/remote, 25% off the entire website. They do have the high performance 4.0. It basically comes with everything you'd want for it's like $90 or something. It's great. And you can't even get a trimmer. You can't even get a shaver or trimmer at the store for $90, let alone all the stuff that it comes with.
I normally pay between, I don't know, $18 and $24 for Calvin Klein boxers. It comes with the boxers, which I now like better than my Calvin Klein. So I'm a big fan of their new boxers. And Ninjisha, I just wanted to address this real quick. I love this comment. Dolby Vision gaming. A lot of people are kind of like, oh my gosh, my TV doesn't have Dolby Vision gaming. Okay, expectations are high. You're all right now. Don't worry about it. I could not agree more. The fact that Dolby Vision gaming is nothing more than their version of static metadata. It doesn't, I don't think it's going to bring much to the table. Until I'm proven otherwise in the late distant future, HDR10, HGIG, if your TV can handle either of those, has good tone mapping, don't worry about Dolby Vision gaming at all. I just say, just drop the whole Dolby Vision gaming expectation FOMO. No FOMO for Dolby Vision gaming, from me at least.
And Chris, I think there's a super chat if you want to hit before we
to
the next thing. You got it?
There you go. There you go.
Looks like Chris here is talking about the HDA9 and the larger sub, but there's so many reviews, reviews noting terrible dropouts. And he has a One Connect box or the Connect box and a media cabinet. Thoughts about dropouts of any ACK?
Yes.
Sony?
So definitely the experiences I've had with many people that, one, had the problem, two, had the fix. They put their speakers or their control unit, the little black device that looks like an Apple TV, close to a Wi-Fi source, either a router or something like a router or a mesh device. It definitely causes dropouts. And that's the issue. If your house is full of Wi-Fi that's around the speakers, that may be an issue. Is that what you also experienced, Brandon?
Thanks, Chris, for the super chat. And I'm going to get to it as well. I'm just going to move that off the screen. If you're going to put it inside of a cabinet, I would expect you may have some issues. I would recommend, even if you have a nice clean cabinet and you have nothing on it, I would just put that box on top, make it look as nice as possible, put it behind a picture frame or something. I don't know what you want to do, but ours is out. It's visible. I have no problem with that. And I have no dropouts at all. So, and my speakers are pretty far apart. So, and we have a ton of Wi-Fi devices in our house. So yeah, just keep it away from other things that may cause interference. If you need to, you could always turn it off and turn it back on, and it will pick up a new signal and check for interference and try to pick a spot where it's not as, it'll pick a range that maybe it doesn't interfere with as much in your house. But I don't have any dropouts with that. I definitely did when I had it behind the TV though.
And since my entire studio is all hardwired, I do have one mesh system, right? I have the Google Mesh, but it's not next to any of the speakers. It's far enough away that I haven't had any dropouts myself personally, but then this makes sense. So for sure, if you have it and you're seeing dropouts, try the suggestion of keeping it away from Wi-Fi. And if you're still getting dropouts, definitely just return it. After you get one replacement, you still get dropouts. It must be a interference in your room that just cannot be fixed. And sometimes these new technologies, it just is not everyone's use case. But I do want to bring this up because I know you and I were both YouTubers, and I'm hearing this a lot from other creators. So someone's out there on YouTube trying to scam people under my channel name. So this often happens in the comment section. They come in with literally the exact same name, logo, everything, and they're acting like it's us. Hey, if you give me, click on this and I'll give you a special prize. And obviously we've never done this before in any of our comments. And this is like it's so sad because we have so many loyal viewers, people who trust us, and they're taking advantage of our viewers. So I'm going to have to put out this post on my community channel to let people know that, yeah,
You
I'm
can
not
just
going to make these
ban,
offers.
yeah, you can ban people to ban them, or like you can always just click on like report people. But
Yeah,
you
it's
should see crypto channels. It's like there's like 1,000 people doing that. So it's common on YouTube. Obviously, there's no benefit for us. We're not going to ask you for money. It's worse on like financial channels where they're like,
mhm.
hey, follow me here and send me $100. So yeah, just don't fall for that crap. It's stupid.
Agreed. Hey, Matthew, thank you for that super chat. While these deals are the lowest of the year, I'm holding out for Samsung's 2022 Neo QLED. The FOMO is real. Hey, Matthew, hold out for larger TVs for less, even the Neo QLED. So, what I'm expecting in 2022 is, let's say the Q98. I love that TV. If they can take that price down by a couple $100, same TV, same performance, a little bit cheaper. Maybe you can upgrade to a larger size. Maybe 75 inches is now under 2000. Hold off for that. I honestly don't expect a huge improvement in performance. And that's just how it is in QLED. Now, for non QLEDs, are you surprised by this
No.
at all, Brandon? Didn't we
I
say this
mean,
all year long?
supply
Uh,
demand. People are having a hard time finding chips. People are having a hard time getting products in. I think Sony has the bigger picture in mind. That's the top TV in the world, at least in the United States, if not the world. I don't, maybe the 65-inch isn't worth it right now. Who knows? Maybe the 85 isn't. I think it's a great TV, but I think, you know what? That's an opportunity to buy the A80J instead if you want.
yeah, no doubt. And
We could go over some of those TVs. Do you want to?
yeah, let's do that. Some of those reviews that we've had, right? So let's go down this list here. The U8G.
Yeah,
Have you
that
seen the
was
Hisense
something.
U8G?
I haven't. I really like to. And also, real quick, make sure you guys can you hit the like button real quick if you could. I know it's a pain that I keep asking, but only like half the people have. Real quick, if you guys all hit the like button, then we can get more people to watch it. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, gang. Thank you. So yeah, so if you guys just joined us, we're going over all the TVs we've seen and reviewed this year, and most of them are on this list, if not all of them, right? And what we wanted to do is give you a context because at the time we reviewed it, not all the TVs were available. Like the Sony X95J wasn't even released yet, but now they've all been released, and we've got a good sense of where all the TVs are at. This is kind of like looking back, and for me, we're going to talk about the Hisense U8G. So when I saw it, it was early, and Hisense released it before some of the other TV models even came out from the other makers. And the U8G just blew me away with its brightness. That's the one word I would say to describe the Hisense U8G: bright. Everything that has specular highlight, HDR, the U8G nailed it. But then that's in a full field. Once you start putting black bars up and putting in challenging scenes, its weakness come about, which is the blooming. I felt the blooming on the U8G was a touch, or actually noticeably worse than the Hisense U7G. And that's why I recommend the U7G over the U8G. For me, blooming is a bit more distracting, despite me loving the specular highlights, which right now is unmatched by any of these TVs here. But the blooming is a bit of a deal killer given that the U7G is a touch cheaper without the blooming issue, just slightly more lifted blacks. And I was going to ask you, Brandon, how distracting for you is blooming? Like, is that a deal killer or is it something else?
It is obviously not attractive. It's one of my least favorite things about TVs, but it's kind of like the way something may bloom. Like we talked about the Sony versus kind of like some of these other TVs where if it's a general bloom and maybe you don't notice it as often, but it's maybe not quite as bad as if it's like blooming around a bright object and it just you see that cloud. You see a small cloud of blooming. I dislike
Right.
that more. So it just depends. You notice it sometimes, or maybe you have expectations with a less expensive TV that it's not a big deal, you know?
Or maybe you've had blooming in your TVs and you didn't realize this was a thing, right?
Yeah.
And hey, Arnis, thanks for the super chat. So, and I know we didn't
That's the question we already
specifically
got. Yeah.
address this question, which is why didn't it go down? Because we know it didn't go down price. Sony never brings down its Master Series OLED since the Sony A1E, right? That's their first superstar OLED that came out. They don't lower the price of their Master Series to any significant level, even after a year. And here we're in the first year. Look at the Sony A9G. It's still not gone down. So why not? For two reasons. One, they want to maintain the value of the Master Series in the context of all TVs. But more importantly, they bin their TVs, meaning they reject panels that do not pass quality control. That's a hard cost that they have to put into the price of the Sony Master Series, right? So the Master Series has a higher cost associated, which is more rejected panels that are accepted. And the ones that are rejected, well, that's a lost cause, right? They write it off, but that expense still goes into the price of the TV. So there's only so much of a discount a Master Series will get. When you do see one, just go for it because it probably won't get any lower than what you see. Even look at the A9G today. Oh my gosh, it's more expensive than the A80J. My recommendation is get the A80J, but Sony won't lower the price of the Master Series. That's my opinion on why they won't do that. But yeah, it's kind of snob appeal for many people as well too.
Yeah, man, it's like 5-10% better, and you're paying a lot more. So it's tough. We pick apart some of these differences. I think a lot of people don't understand how good the A80J is as a TV.
Yep, agreed. Well, I think that kind of segues us into the A90J because we were there at the shootout, right? So the Sony A90J. You were at the shootout. How much better was it than the competition? It was compared to the LG G1 and the Samsung QN90A. The dual cell was there, but it was outclassed by the other three. So I'm not going to mention the Hisense dual cell that much. But just overall, did you feel there was that huge of a difference, or what are your thoughts of the A90J at the shootout, head to head with the other TVs?
I mean, I thought it looked good, but I mean, you're talking about like, oh, it's slightly better than the G1 in this scene, or maybe it's slightly better. I mean, when you get them all up there, the dual cell one you could kind of tell was a little bit lifted, but the other three were all really close. I mean, it wasn't like significant, but I mean, that's the whole point, is we're trying to find these differences, So I thought the G1 looked better, except for the fact that it had a bit of that red tint to it, which was kind of weird. What was it, green tint or red tint? I can't remember.
It was a slight
For the
green.
left side of it was a little weird.
And they told me it was a panel uniformity issue.
Yeah, but that's the thing, man. Like I had one that was similar when I reviewed it. My G1 was similar too. So that I take those kind of things into consideration too when I review. Like, that's just what turned me off about the QN90A, is that I had a lot of dirty screen on that,
And this is something to look at. Here you see it's Black Friday. Do you even see $1 off? It's like nothing. It's like nothing is off, right? They didn't even attempt to give it a deal. And this is Sony telling Best Buy, discount the other stuff. Here are our deals, but we got nothing for you on the A90J. So is it worth the premium? Frankly, unless you have the money and, hey, you know what? Okay, I'll spend an extra 1,000. No, get the A80J, I think, is fine. Because those few scenes where the A90J really does stand out definitely are few and far between. Now, again, if you have the budget, get it. If you don't, you're not missing out on much.
And this is it right here. I appreciate Rick. I didn't see the Brandon rules part. I thought you just said Brandon has all the A90Js, still honest about the A80J for the money being a smarter choice. I mean, there's no question. If I had a choice of any TV right now, I'd probably be the 77-inch A80J. And I would get that in a heartbeat, and I'd put it up and I'd never look back, because it's like $3,000, isn't it? Isn't that TV like $3,000 for the 77 A80J?
77. Yes, it is. Well, let's pull it up.
That's pull up less than half price over the 83-inch A90J. So you gotta look at something like that. It's a great deal.
$3,000 for the A80J. Yep.
For me, it's crazy to see that that's not sold out. In all honesty, with all these other deals and stuff that these TVs are sold out. I can't believe a 77-inch A80J for $3,000 isn't sold out.
My choice.
Maybe it is.
At Costco, the A80Js, well, first of all, I'm impressed that Costco's selling it, by the way. Costco has to be incredibly aggressive, one of the most incredibly aggressive big box stores that know what their people want, because I always consider Costco as kind of budget, but when you're selling the A80J 77-inch, you're going after premium buyers. And a lot of
Absolutely.
people are buying it out of Costco for that reason, right? You get all the warranty benefits and return benefits. But trust me, unless it's a bad panel, you are not going to return this TV. It is just so amazing. And let's get a few super chats here. Hey, thanks, Adi, for the super chat for a few extra $100. A80J plus HTA9. Yeah, definitely. That's kind of my choice for a home theater in a box, quote unquote, right? Okay, and a lot of people ask, well, why do you want the HTA9? Because it's such a expensive system, and I could build a better one for less, right? And that's the thing. You could build a better one for less, but that building process, you'll be surprised how many people just want plug and play ease, and they're willing to pay an extra 500 to 1,000 just not to deal with it. So that's me. I'm one of the lazy people out there. And
There's
hey,
a lot of people, man. Like I know that people say like, let's get the whole system. I hear it all the time. Like people tell me as an installer that I'm being lazy or that I'm being like, I'm not a good installer because I recommend sound bars and stuff. But it's like a lot of people just want ease of use and they don't want wires everywhere. So if you have 4 little speakers, or they're mid-size speakers that just go around your room, and then you have a giant sub, which actually pounds pretty hard. It's expensive, but it's an awesome system.
I would love to address this question because I think it's important. I did it this morning. A lot of people noticed this. So, hey, FOMO, thank you, William, for the question. An excellent segue. You guys are reading my mind every time. FOMO, how come the TCL 6 series is not highlighted anymore? All right, let's talk about why it's no longer highlighted. And this really it comes down to you guys. On Best Buy's site, the number of complaints about the 6 series just not working. So it's not about picture quality anymore, right? When it works, its picture quality is still phenomenal. However, there is a big dissatisfaction with its quality control. And people are complaining, they're on their third panel and it's still a bad TV, right? But when it does work, everyone loves it. So if you read the reviews, they either love it because they won the panel lottery, or they hate it because it's the worst experience ever. They can't even get the thing to turn on, right? Without rebooting multiple times. So I'm going to withhold the highlight for now, only because I think there are so many good TVs out there at a similar price that doesn't get you top end HDR performance, assuming everything works, like the TCL 6, but it's a little bit more trouble free. And so I would rather right now the U7G, slightly cheaper, it works, no complaints from quality control or anyone. I was fortunate that my 6 series works and it did not come from TCL. I actually bought it from Best Buy. However, the complaints are getting worse and worse. And I reached out to TCL. I go, guys, you guys have to address this, because it's one thing when your TV is awesome, but you can't say, well, 90% of the time it's great, but for the other 10%, so sad, too bad. So hopefully TCL gets this and hears it. But yes, those who have it working, they love it. But then there's a large enough number where when that many people buy it and it's not working so well, it's still a great deal, but you're gonna have to work it. And it's exclusive to Best Buy right now, the Google TV. So I think Best Buy is gonna have to decide what they want to do with this because it's all on their site. Now, do you have an opinion on this, Brandon? I don't know if you had a chance to look at the 6 series yet, or the new one, the Google TV.
No, I haven't. I've just been listening to you guys about it. It was just something I didn't have time to get to, but no, it's I mean, you know, I want to be a big fan of TCL, but I'm not, like, I don't consider them on the same tier yet. I haven't seen something that real. I mean, the 535 last year was pretty close, but I thought that the Hisense was a little better. And both of them, I had a hard time convincing people to buy those TVs sometimes. So, they're right there. They're right there though.
And thank you, Julio, for the super chat. Boom, we got you right here. Mr. B, you reviewed both the Sony A8H and Sonos Arc system with 2 subwoofers. How's the dual sub Sonos? How does it compare with the Sony HTA9? Any thoughts on the 65-inch AHH? Still the best TV for movies. Boy, got to unpack this one. What are your thoughts on this, Brandon?
Well, I mean, I think that the Sonos Arc with 2 subs will have probably more bass, but that's not the thing that I had an issue with. The bass is significant on the Sonos Arc. It's that the Arc itself doesn't have the same level of highs as the HTA9. So the HTA9 has better like fidelity, I guess, sounds better because that Sonos Arc has to do all the work that basically those 4 speakers split, So they're just bigger, better speakers. The Sonos Arc is great. Have it in my bedroom. I wouldn't notice it if, unless I had the HTA9 next to it. I think it sounds fine. With 2 subs, it's ridiculous. It's like super overkill. Still, that's about the same price. I think it's a little less expensive than, or the same price as the HTA9. But I like the HTA9 because it has better fidelity. And then the A8H is a great TV. I think now, though, the A80J is a better TV because the HDMI 2.1 and it has the XR processor. So I would just go for the newer TV if it's available in your area. As I just said, I think the A80J is one of the best TVs you can buy. So that would be what I have to say about that.
I agree. And the problem with OLEDs, a lot of people are finding is they can't distinguish between the model years, right? Because A8H, A80J price are similar. What's the difference? A80J is the newest of the mid-tier OLEDs from Sony, and it is better than last year's A8H without a doubt for many reasons. And you can read our reviews or listen to our reviews and get them. Now, here's a great
give me real quick before we do. If you guys can hit the like button, please. 215 people, 100 likes. So I got 100 of you guys. Hook it up. And also, I want to throw out here, we're being sponsored today by Manscaped. Manscaped.com. Please go to manscaped.com/remote and buy some crap. Buy some stuff for you. Buy some stuff for significant other. Hopefully,
boxers.
None of you guys have that hairy of wives that you need this for her, but buy it for yourself or get your women to hook you up with some Manscaped products. 25% off. All kinds of good products. FOMO and I have both tested them out. They were kind enough to send a care package for my care package, and it worked out well, and I appreciate it. And yeah, 25% off. All you have to do is click on manscaped.com/remote. It's in the links down below. It's the first link. Click it up, buy some stuff, and that'll be awesome. I really appreciate it.
And this is not to encourage you guys not to take a shower, because the Revive is one of my favorite products, but it's not to suggest that would replace good hygiene, but it is a good product, just letting you guys know.
I do like the mat that they have. What is it called? The magic mat. They basically have this, they send you a big like newspaper for you to set on the ground, and so they catch all the clippings.
Wait, is that what it's for?
Yeah, it's called the magic mat. I said in my video, it's to catch all the collateral damage.
The collateral damage. That's awesome. Hey, Noah, thanks for the super chat. The answer is yes. The Q90A does have the next gen ATS-3 3.0 tuners, and 2022 will get more TVs with ATSC 3.0 tuning, assuming your local stations have this new broadcast standard, which allows for high frequency frame rate, 4K, HDR, all that good stuff. There we go. Let's see.
I wonder if I kind of want to get, I want to get some of that HD 4K content, because YouTube TV, I don't want to go off on a rant, but I was watching last night, the Godfather 2, and like the pixelations were like gigantic. I mean, it was in like it was like 720.
Yeah.
So when you get 720 and then you're looking at different shades of black and gray, it does not look good. And I'm telling you, I have it on the best TV on the QN or on the A90J. And I'm just like, ugh. I didn't even want to watch it because it was so bad. It was just coming in so poorly, streaming.
Could not agree with you more. And that's another reason why so many people. Have you had a chance to compare that pixelation issue or the upscaling of low bitrate content, low resolution content on the Sony versus a non-Sony? Have you a chance to do that? Because the XR chip is a significant improvement over all competitors when it comes to exactly that issue you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I have some footage. We could look at it if we wanted to. I have footage of the 4 OLEDs. Let me just pull it up real quick because it's cool. I mean, it take us a couple seconds, but
sure.
I did that, and it was interesting. It was I don't want to put it on too long, so I'll just freeze it so we don't get like
no problem
hit up for copyright.
While you're doing that, let me get this comment by Black France. Says, hey buddy, another regular, thank you for showing up and supporting us. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure the A80J is really good, but after dropping money on the 85-inch X95J and getting a bad panel, it happens to all brands, right? No single brand is perfect. The extra money for the 83-inch A90J was a no-brainer. See, that's the thing. If you can afford that extra upgrade, there are a few intangibles you're getting with that you're not going to get elsewhere. So I'm with you. We both, Brandon and I, have the 83-inch A90J, and for us, it's a no-brainer to have in a home cinema because it's just the picture quality is just phenomenal. Well, I know it's phenomenal. I've seen it, but I don't have it in my room yet. But eventually I'll get. Actually, it's right there. I see it right there. It's right behind Brandon. That will
It doesn't
come
look like
to.
an 83, does it? It doesn't look like it's 83
How far
inch.
away is that from you? Like 15 feet?
No, it's only like 10. It's like 10 feet from me, but then it's another 4 feet to the 3 feet to the camera. I mean, yeah, it's just this perspective. This is a 16 millimeter camera, so it's really wide, which is why my face looks all like weird when you get up close. Or when you get close to the edge, your arm looks like huge because it like makes your arms look massive on the side. I need like a 24 millimeter lens and a full frame camera. Probably looks similar. Here, let me just play this real quick. I mean,
sure,
you wanted to, let me.
This is important. People want to know.
I don't know where it is. I got a bunch of stuff like I don't want to play, but yeah, like this is the 4 TVs. This is an older movie. Obviously, you guys can see it's Back to the Future. I'm trying to get it to freeze on his face because that's where you can see it, like right there. Obviously, in the top right corner, the G1 is a little off in color, but I don't know if it's visible to people, but you can see the 2 TVs on the left handle the grain a lot better. The 2 TVs on the right, even though the bottom right is the C1 and it looks, bright and vibrant and everything, it just doesn't have the same kind of like definition. It doesn't upscale as well. And the TVs on the left look good. A lot of people in this video have commented that they think the bottom left TV is the best in all the content I play. And they thought that was the A90J, but the bottom left is the A80J. So if the bottom left looks the best, then that is the A80J.
That's the XR chip at work on what is supposed to be a lesser panel.
Yeah, I mean, but in SDR, the ISF bright or whatever is a little bit brighter than Bright Room is a little bit brighter than the custom modes of the Sony. But the Sony TVs, they're all great TVs too. I mean, they're all awesome. So anyways, thought I'd just go over that. Yeah, the G1 does look bad. It had a weird green that Ninjishin pulled that out. I unfortunately I didn't have the time to then throw them back up and do it all. But that's the breaks you get when you buy a TV, because most people aren't going to get calibration. But obviously I do think it's fair to try to calibrate them and have them look the best when you're comparing them. But it's kind of like a lot of people will do a review pre-calibration or some will do post-calibration. So, that's why I just was open about it wasn't calibrated.
Agreed. And what I'm thinking also is the calibration you mentioned is very important. Not all TVs come out of the box calibrated, obviously, and only the A90J has been said that they do calibrate it at the factory before it gets to your house, right? It's out of the box, calibrated by an individual. With that in mind, many of you will see, if you're unlucky, obvious calibration issues that need assistance and some not so obvious. So if it's an issue, it may not be the TV, you just may need it calibrated as far as color is concerned. And what you said is pretty important, is that the green tint can be calibrated out, but the pink tint cannot. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Hey, Corey, thanks for the super chat, my friend. Hope you're having a great Black Friday. Hi, do you think a 100-inch panel ever to be mainstream? Absolutely.
Better be. I want one.
It's definitely going to be a thing. Well, first of all, they are all doubling down on 100-inch panels, and not just OLED or QLED alone, right? So we'll start with the LCD TV companies. They are adding more capacity to produce more of these 97, 98-inch, 100-inch type LCD TVs. And at that size, all they have to do is beat projectors, right? They don't have to be OLED killers, and that's why they want to do it. The technology just has to be good enough to be better than a projector. And if that's the case, much lower bar. So like this year, the QN90A, it's what, $15,000, but that's a QN90A. What if it was just a Q60? How much would that be? Under 10,000? So my question for you guys is, how low does a 100-inch TV have to be, assuming it fits your room, for you to consider it? 5,000? Now, the 97-inch OLED that will be launching next year from LG, I suspect will be somewhere $17,000. That's still out of range, but what were 65-inch OLEDs 6 years ago, 7 years
Yeah.
ago? So
You
I'm
make a great
seeing
point though, dude. You make a great point about the price. Like the X91J, right? Isn't that, or is it the 92J, the 100-inch?
the 91J. Oh, the 92J.
91,
Yeah, the 92J is Sony's
100.
100-inch. Yeah.
So you could go there. You could even, I don't know, could you go edge lit TV in 100 and make it look good still?
Well, it remains to be seen. Or why not have? Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
Is it too
because
big?
it wouldn't like maybe like an 8-900 nit TV, edge lit, 100-inch or backlit, whatever, no dimming zones, cheaper TV. Wouldn't that have an appeal to some people? You know,
Absolutely.
like an
or it was a direct lit.
X85J, you know,
Yeah.
X85J, 100-inch.
Actually, you know what? Let's take the X80J, right? X80J, IPS panel, great color, but 100 inches of IPS goodness, SDR, 60 hertz panel, but it's $4,000.
I think people would
5,000,
buy that. Yeah, people are going to buy
right?
that.
Well,
I mean,
if
'cause you
people
gotta
buy
get
the
that-
frame, if they get into the frame,
Yeah,
it's like perfect.
the frame. I mean, that's basically what the frame is: 120 hertz panel, but it's edge lit. No, yeah, for sure.
What can you
I can
find
find it.
Satyas?
Sure, I'll find it.
Yeah. Hey, thanks and again,
Here it
guys, since
is.
we love talking to you guys, we always miss super chats. So yeah, let us know. Hey, thanks for that super chat. Worth buying refurbished Sony X900H 65-inch for $750. Is the new R646 or U7G the better choice than refurbished Sony? Okay, use case movies, TV, and light.
It's a good question, but
so I have my own comments on refurbished. Refurbished is all over the place. It is such a gamble. I wouldn't recommend it for anyone that I personally would want to make a recommendation for. So for me, the answer is never go refurbished if you're saving a few hundred. Now, if it's free, okay, take it, right? If it doesn't work, throw it away. But if you're actually paying money for it, I would pay for a different brand that might be a little less expensive. And if you caught what I was talking earlier about the TCL having growing pain issues with its quality control, I'd say start with the U7G. If you like it, hold on to it. If you don't like it, let me know why you don't like it, and then we'll talk about what TV would address what you don't like about the U7G. What I like about the U7G is it's very similar to the X900H in terms of its image quality for movies and streaming, and it's 4K 120 capable, so light gaming is fine, but don't play 4K 120, just 4K 60 locked on a console, you're fine. I think the U7G is a great price. Check it out, try it. If you love it, you're done. Don't look for problems.
You know what I was thinking about making? I have a, maybe I'm going to give everyone, the jig is up and you guys will all copy me, but I'm just joking. I don't care. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to make a video on there. Now I have a funny thing. 25% off the entire site. Look down and tell me you don't need help. I mean, in the description, your balls will thank you. There you go. Now you got I got the whole logo ready. All right. So I might make a video on buying open box TVs and where to buy TVs that are refurbished and open box and all these things, because I bought things off of like Amazon refurbished, Apple. I bought TVs at Best Buy. I've gone through and I've opened up boxes. I've seen there's different, like, manufacturer warranty commitments and all these things. I think it's worth a video. I don't know if people in the comments would think that's worth a video. But giving my experience with buying things that are open box and how to find a good open box TV. Yeah, that might be something I look into, because it's definitely, it's definitely a little commitment in time, but you can save some money. But refurbished is difficult because you're never, certain, like you said, about the quality.
Hey,
did we get this one already? Did we do that one already?
No, I have not.
Okay, go ahead. What were you going to say first?
I was going to say that would be a great video. And I'm going to tell you, I would never do that video. It's too much work, man.
Yeah, no.
If you guys know me, I love two types of videos: comparing head to head, buying guy type videos. But refurbished actually requires me to buy refurbished. it is a pain I would not be able to tolerate. So you
Well, I mean, I've
deserve
had a lot, so I would be more just my experience previous. I wouldn't do it. Like I probably wouldn't
absolutely.
buy a new one. Hey, make sure you guys hit the like button. And also click on the links in the description for manscaped.com. 25% off the entire website. You guys got to get that hooked up. Good time
And
to buy some stocking stuffers.
and apparently I may have missed Noah's super chat earlier, so let's hit it. Thank you for your patience, Noah, and I apologize we missed it earlier or in another video. You missed the super chat or my videos behind FOMO when you compared 4K LED flagships a few weeks ago. What size TVs were you using? X95J did bad in the glare test. Correct. 65-inch X95J was what I had, and that
It has
is the
some
issue.
anti-glare. They have some anti-glare,
But
just
it
so
wasn't
people
good
know.
enough. Yeah,
It may not be good enough. It may not be good as the QN98, but it still is relatively good. It's pretty good.
And if you need anti-glare, like you need anti-glare, go to the larger size or get a Samsung QN98. That anti-glare to me definitely is my favorite, but a lot of people complain of rainbows. Did you notice the rainbows on the
Yeah, of
Samsungs that you've
course.
had? Did you
Absolutely.
like it, dislike it? Is
I
that
mean,
something?
I guess what I have to say, people that have Samsungs say that they don't notice it. If they do notice it, it annoys them. If you have like, can lights in the ceiling, you're going to see this like glare across your screen when it's off. But when the TV's on, for the most part, I mean, an OLED is going to reflect too, but an OLED does not have the like, it cannot knock down the amount of light as that. It's too much. It's too much.
Agreed. And Keep It Classy is wondering how much longer
Oh, yeah.
are we going to
I
be
sent
on? He
him the
might
link
jump
just
on,
now.
right? Oh,
Yeah, I sent him
awesome.
the
Yeah.
link.
We're not
Check in
going to
the
go
link, bud.
all day, but we want to sit here and try to catch your questions, especially if you are looking to buy a TV in the next, I don't know, 6 hours, and you need to make that decision. And there's one pressing question. Come on, let us
Yeah.
know. Oh, there it is.
This is a
There's
good
that
one that we
pressing
were.
question.
Yeah, I think we were around. Yeah, I think this is the next one.
Okay. FOMO. B. Happy Thanksgiving and a happy Thanksgiving to you, Harold.
Likewise.
Got the 85-inch QN90A. My fave. We need update videos with general setup and DSC inspection. How to for all new panels. Keep up the good job. So I'll tell you right now, since you're here, if you're available, you're in front of your YouTube or PC or whatever, take the notes. For DSC inspection on YouTube, there's a lot of great patterns, and a lot of those patterns are like OLED uniformity. It's fine. It doesn't matter that you don't have an OLED. Same patterns. The goal is to look for the dirty screen effect. So if they have grayscale between 5% and 15%, that's all you need to look at the uniformity issues. And if you notice slight dark areas in the corners, more often than not, you're not going to get it better than that. That is absolutely normal. The issue is the dirty vertical banding that you are going to notice. And then if you put on a hockey scene, so after you see some of the dirty vertical banding, try some real hockey scenes that's also online for this test. And if you don't notice it, then that's fine, right? So that's something that you all should look at. Now, as far as settings and stuff, I'll post it on my community page because I think that's something that I can do for you for sure. But generally speaking, movie mode, warm 2 on the QN90A, and always put local dimming to high to get rid of black crushing. If you put it to standard, you'll get it brighter, but it lifts some of that black just a touch, so it no longer has the advantage over the X95J. Putting it to standard makes it very similar to the X95J, actually, but that's fine because it gets brighter, right? And a lot of people want that brightness. So, oh, congratulations on a great TV, by the way. I love that QN90A. Especially its dark screen or its dark content where blooming may be a challenge for lesser TVs. So
And
yeah.
also, we have some buddies that do more of these kind of videos. FOMO and I don't do the settings quite as much, right? So
Yeah.
But Keep It Classy Tech, I know Chana D does on Technodad. I
Mm-hmm.
know Ninjishin does some stuff, calibration and information about these too. So check out some of the peoples, and even Tech with KG. I think he does a little bit, right? I'm just kind of throwing those guys out there as people that take a good amount of time looking at these TVs, and
And other people are kind of just talking about the deals that are out there. So quick refresher for those of you who haven't caught our most recent discussion on what I think are great deals right now. I honestly, at the 75-inch size, I do like the X91J now that it's discounted. It is right here. Let me pull it up real quick. Okay, so right. What? Where'd it go?
You lost the TV,
I
huh?
lost it. I lost an entire TV. I'm gonna go back to the drawing board. So the
That happens
X91J
in my house
is
too. It
twenty two
literally
hundred
happens. There's
dollars,
a
right?
couple TVs disappearing in my house sometimes.
It's disappearing. Oh, the 85 inch. Oh, here it is. Right. Like I was looking at the 75 inch. So that's Sony X91G at $2,200. I think this is a phenomenal price, and I would choose this over the Samsung Q70A if you don't care about 4K 120, VRR, gaming, whatever. Q70A will get you there, but the X91J I think has a better movie quality, cinematic quality for streaming and movie watching, given that it's still using the excellent Sony's X chip in general. Great upscaling, great color, great motion. That's the core that you need. And the Q70A, slightly cheaper, but that's because you want working gaming features. And if you want to go even lower, then there's the $1,700 TU9010, which is fine picture quality, but you want to save a few bucks. So that's kind of my choices there. But yeah. All right.
I want to share something real quick if I have a chance. If you got a hot second.
I have a hot second.
Or a slow second. Here, someone had asked when I am going to review the QN 900A 85-inch.
85.
And here's my answer. As soon as this website shows that they have some, I will review it. Right now, there's nothing. I mean, 85. I can get a 75. Would people prefer I just get a 75? Because I could buy that right now. Well, I thought I could. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I can get the 75-inch on Monday. Now, I just thought it would be cooler to get the 85-inch because it's massive. But should I just buy the 75-inch and compare that to my 83-inch A90J? So I don't know. I don't know when the 85-inch would be back. I don't know if getting the 85-inch in a couple of weeks would be then good enough to, then you guys would be satisfied for the next year, or is Samsung just going to come out with a new one,
I think you want to stay relevant and get the 75-inch because honestly, the jump from the 65 to the 75 is much bigger than from the 75 to 85 in terms of dimming zones and all that stuff. So get the 75, you're going to get all the benefits that's in the 85 except for size, and then you can do your comparison, and then people can then get ready for the discounts coming for Super Bowl, right? So definitely, I'd say go 75.
Yeah, and I was looking because in the same thing, I was like, okay, I could also get the 85-inch QN90A. So an 85-inch 4K or a 75-inch 8K. What would people say in that respect? Get the 8K at the 75-inch or get the big boy or I don't know which one I said, or get the 85-inch QN90A. So that would be another thing to think about.
Well, you definitely know my thoughts on 8K, so I'm just not a fan of 8K.
No, I know, me too.
So much, right?
I know, but the thing is, it's not cost to product and all that, but then it's like, the extra dimming zones, the lack of limitations on the, the energy efficiency is not quite, so it's like there's things to think about.
True. Now, there is one person that would choose the 8K QN900A over all comers. And before we jump to him, I see you in the lobby, Classy. Let's talk to Richard Temple. Thanks for the super chat. Is the Sony X91J any good? It is very good for movie watching and streaming. Essentially, it's the X900H. And if you see any of the reviews last year, it's a fine TV. Now, at the smaller sizes, I felt that the HDR impact wasn't there. But that's more of, hey, they couldn't get that dimming zone right. And I was at a 65-inch size. At the 85-inch size, you're going to get brighter. More importantly, I think for movie watching and streaming, you're not going to get better for the price right now. Now that's $2,200. It is such a good movie watching TV overall. I'm not going to complain at that size because it will be brighter than the smaller sizes. But hey, don't take my word for it. Classy, what are your thoughts on the X91J now that it's $2,200?
I had the 900H 85-inch for 6 months or so.
Can you speak up a little bit?
Your mic's down a bit. Yeah. No worries.
Yeah, I turned it down to match KG.
He talks like.
I had the 900H last year, the 85-inch, and it. I like its algorithm more than the X90J for local dimming, even though it's the same zone count. And for movies and TV, it was great. It was just the gaming stuff that is why I got rid of it.
Right.
It kind of sucks that the 91J isn't $2,000 like the 900H was.
Oh, I know, but it's close enough, right? It will be obviously under 2,000 by the time Prime Day rolls around. But if you wait that long, who knows how long it's gonna last? So yeah, if you see it for $2,200 or less, pull the trigger. You're not going to be unhappy. I cannot imagine a better 85-inch TV for that price for movies and streaming. So yeah.
So real quick, because we're still talking about it, Ninjishin said that the QN900A wrecks the Q90A. It's not about resolution. I think that there are some benefits. Also, the QN900A has that like cooler bezel. It's like silver. It has the speakers on the back. It looks just a lot cooler. So I'm trying to, let me ask everyone real quick. If I got the 75-inch and unboxed it, would people be like, if I put massive TV, is 75-inch? It's not really massive, right? So is that like clickbait, or are people still going to watch me unbox it? Let me know, because I'm trying to debate between the 85-inch QN90A or the 75-inch Q900A, or just wait for the 8K and the 85-inch.
Well, do you have stuff to keep you busy for a couple weeks? Because if so, I'd say wait for the 85, because I'm going to get the 75.
Yeah, no, I have stuff, but I just, it's time. Like right now, people are, like I said, in 3 months they'll have a new one, or I
don't really have space to do like a real unboxing or whatever. So I'm just going straight towards like the review, the settings, that kind of stuff. So if you get 85 and then show it next to your 83 OLED, I think that's what everyone wants to see.
I think so too, and I think it's going to have some advantages. I think there'll be some opportunity, especially since it's $5,400 versus $8,000.
Look, you got at least one person watching your 75-inch video right there. Buddy Love, man.
And Brad, on the other hand, wants me to buy both. He wants to buy both. Buy the 85 A90J or the QN90A and the 900A. I'm like, yeah, right.
All right. Yeah. We got a lot of X91J fans out there. I think it's a great price. Yeah. How can you not love it, right? I think for gaming, any TV that's not an LG or even a Samsung this year is okay, right? I mean, is there any TV that's terrible at 4K 60 HDR? They all do 4K 60 HDR for console gaming, generally okay, right? Is there a bad gaming TV out there this year that you guys have seen?
Here,
U9DG.
U9.
Sorry, classy. You're gonna get some nuts in your face here. Sorry.
There you go.
Have to roll this out every so often. Make sure that you guys, again, I know I've said it a few times, hit the like button. Please, if you can, smash the like button. Go to manscaped.com/remote. If you want, just click in the description. Check out the website while you're on this live stream with us. It's worth it. The website's great. They got a lot of cool products. Everything's hilarious. So yeah, check it out. Oh, and Ninjishin said that they were on Shark Tank recently, and that
Manscaped?
Manscaped. He said it was hilarious. So I can imagine they're pretty funny. And right now they're watching our live stream. So there's people watching our live stream from Manscaped. So what's up,
I love the boxers. Love their boxers.
The boxers. I think this is just funny. Crop preserver ball deodorant. That's just hilarious. I can't get it to focus.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
that's just funny to me. It's awesome.
I love the Reviver, man. Show them the Reviver. That's my favorite product.
Oh yeah.
The Reviver.
I mean, who doesn't need some ball toner, right?
I know I do.
Ball toner.
As you age, toning is important, my friends. Hey, Caps Lock. B, this is a great idea. B, Brandon,
shave my mic.
Unbox the TV blindfolded. I'll watch that.
It's pretty funny. How about I just have my wife unbox it by herself, and I'm not even there. I'm the cameraman,
and she's blindfolded.
Jen just does it.
Wait, she's blindfolded, and there are doggy treats all over her, right? So she's like fighting off your pug.
Yeah, dude. She already has to fend off the dog. He is like attached at the hip to her. All right, we don't need 15 of the same comments there. A perfect info. It's all good, man. 5-minute timeout. Boom. Just like Classy's wife. Put her in timeout.
That's something that you'll never live down. I love that. Are you laughing at the ADS panel, or are you laughing at our ads? Let us know, Brad.
Oh yeah. He's laughing at the ads.
Good stuff. Hey, so you're here, Classy. Do you have any favorite deals that you are either surprised by, waiting for, or want to mention?
I think the X90J for $1,600 at Costco with the 5-year warranty 75-inch is really good, and then the X95J 75 for 2300 is really good. Those are like two really standout ones, I think. And obviously like the $1,300 15 or 55-inch C1 if you're just looking for a good gaming TV. And then obviously the 77-inch OLEDs. But pretty much everything that we've known for a while.
The 77-inch OLEDs are great deals. Yeah, Manscaped in the face. I like this one right here. It looks way bigger when I shave it. That is a good point. I mean, shave it.
Those kind of head-to-heads, I don't think YouTube will allow, but we'll see if there's a workaround for that. Hey, Samuel, a classic A80J or C1 for movies, TV, and sports. Want an A80J, but worried screen will dim due to static image feature that can't be disabled. Your thoughts? So this, I think, is kind of controversial now. At this point, there is so much, I don't want to call it misinformation, but maybe it's overemphasis or maybe not. His concern is screen dimming. Can you explain when should this be a real concern for those considering either one of them, and when shouldn't it be? Because I think your use case really determines that dimming, right? Or not.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Certain games, so you didn't mention games, but for most people, that's the main thing. But when it comes to sports, it will, but it depends on the sport. So like if you watch a lot of soccer, I know that's one that does it a lot. I don't think football does because it goes to commercials a lot. It also depends on, like, if you're getting the 77-inch, then it's a better panel, more reason to go for the A80. But if you're getting a 55 or 65, you could play it safe and go for a C1. Especially, isn't the 65 C1 $100 less? I think it's 100
currently. Yeah, currently it is.
So, it's kind of tough because, like, I was playing Forza on my A80 for like an hour and it was all good, and then I'm testing the A90 and playing Forza a little bit, and then it's like, oh wow, it did dim. So
okay, so this is huge, right? A90 heatsink. What was your Forza setting? Was it max brightness? Like, what? Share with us. It's HDR. What do you think the issue is? Because it's got a heatsink. Now, I haven't started gaming on the A90J, but I'm just going to listen to you guys about it. Is dimming an issue across all Sonys because of the algorithm then? What is the issue here?
All the Sony OLEDs do it. And it just depends on how aggressive or how much of the screen is static. And then that's going to determine like how much it dims. So like the worst games are Fortnite and Destiny and racing games, anything that has big, large things on the screen that don't move. And then that's going to trigger the dimming. So it's like the A90J playing Fortnite, when it first loads up, it's like the bright, because Fortnite's SDR. And if you have everything turned up on the brightness on it, it's super bright. It looks like it's an LCD and it looks great. But then like 2 minutes, 3 minutes into the game, it's just dimmer than a C1.
Wow. So,
but let's put it into consideration, or into perspective. They did say TV and sports. I've had both, and I didn't notice it at all. So I mean, it just it depends on what you're looking at. I would have to say that because in TV and sports, I think that the motion and just the upscaling is better on the A80J. That I would say it's slightly better. But also, I have a 48-inch C1, and I don't know. It's not as big of a screen, so it's not that big a deal. But these TVs are so close. I think there's a few different reasons why you could pick one or the other. And for me, I would be more worried about the sound quality, because I think like the A80J sound quality is phenomenal. And the C1 sound quality is okay if it's on the stand, but if you put it on the wall, the C1 sounds terrible. So then it's like, okay, do you want, because people are talking about the static image feature, which what is it dimming at, like 5%, 10%? I'm not sure. Like
50.
And I've looked.
Only dims 50.
Well, I've looked online, and the differences in like the auto, the ABL and some of these things, it doesn't seem like it's that significant to the test. So it's kind of like confusing to put that, because I hear people, because of some of our reviews, constantly pepper me with this question. And it's like, and again, this guy doesn't even game. So then how do we put that in perspective to all these other things like speakers, upscaling, processor, all the different things, Sony, Google versus the web OS. Like there's a million things we can think about,
Yeah. So the dimming is really like for gaming. Like if it's gaming is the concern, that's where it matters the most. Sports is that it depends on the sport. But the static dimming isn't anything to do with ABL. There's no test for it. Ratings can't test for it. So there's no number you can put on it other than sitting there waiting for it to dim and measuring. And I've measured 50% drop on Sony.
I think for me, the big reason to go with the A80J in this case is TV. Assuming TV is over the air, I believe the A80J's XR is designed to make over the air, low resolution, low bit rate, whatever, better than the C1. So if you watch a lot of TV, I would take the A80J just for that.
Yeah, I mean, 2 out of 3 here is for the A80, the movie and TV. Yep. It's the sports.
So keep that in mind. Yeah.
How much sports do you watch? Do you watch sports more than anything else, and which sports? And
And here we go. TechMed is here. Oh, go ahead.
It's melting down and missing the point. I'm not missing the point at all. We're talking about the dimming. Classy's telling us about gaming. He doesn't even game. I'm just trying to put it in perspective.
Yeah.
He said he games on the QN90A.
Yeah.
So can you watch the sports on the QN90A as well?
Yeah, right.
And then just get the A80.
So now we have a TV that many agree, and this is why I put up TechMed Rainer Richter is for this comment as well. Classy, your recommendation, bought the Q900A 85-inch, and you have to watch it to believe it. Well, we've seen it. That's why he recommended it. It was at the shootout. Amazing TV. And why are we talking about it? Because our good friend TechMed Rainer Richter has that very TV, and he is also in love with it. This is an excellent TV. No one, I think, has ever said that it was a bad TV. It's just very expensive. But now with Black Friday, boom, it's getting a lot better. Black Friday is still much bigger in the US compared than here in Germany, but especially for TVs, there are some stunning deals, especially Samsung and LG. Samsung has been very aggressive with its deals this year early. So if you guys saw, Black Friday came, I'd say, about a month early, right? I mean, a lot of these deals were happening in October, and it disappeared quickly. Like the QN90A 85-inch, nowhere to be seen. The QN900A 85-inch, nowhere to be seen, right? So we're definitely working our way down the Samsung model lineup as far as inventory availability. And many people suspected that maybe they were holding back. No, I think they just ran out. But yeah, thanks for that. Super chat, super sticker, our good friend, TechMed Rainer Richter. Hey, what is the max seating distance before you can no longer see the visual detail between OLED and LCD? Okay, this is interesting. It's not resolution. I'd say blooming you could see from far away. I don't know how else to. Now, what about screen sizes? Okay, so you have two questions. Difference between OLED and LCD in the right lighting environment. So dark room, blooming, you could see it from very far away. It's now in super bright, full screen content. No, you're not going to see the difference. And then with screen sizes, 83 and 77 inch, it's not the screen size really, but how far you're standing away from the OLED LCD comparison. That's kind of been my experience. How about you guys? You guys have both. What do you think? How far you have to be before you notice the difference between OLED and LCD?
I don't know if it's necessarily that you notice the differences. I mean, like what, the blooming you're talking about, or
just whatever differences.
The quality. They don't make a whole lot of OLEDs that have like a lot of the significant flaws. So you can get pretty poor quality QLED or LCD based TV, but I don't think there's a ton of huge differences. It just depends on if you like really bright screens or if you like the black level. And then as far as the size, I think Chana said that he was happy to get the 83-inch, and he, it's got the size of a widescreen movie is the same as a 77-inch. So if you're watching like a movie in widescreen, then what you have remaining is still bigger than like a 77-inch full screen if you do the diagonal. So I don't know. It's tough to say if an 83 is worth upgrading for 6 more inches of space. I think getting the 77-inch A80J is probably the best deal you can find, period. And if you're a gamer, then I think it's the 77-inch C1. And I think the price difference to the 83 inches is obviously a big difference because they know people will pay it, and because of the glass or whatever. But I don't know. It's tough for me, it would be tough to recommend the 83 over a 77. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah. And I think you're going to see the difference between OLED and LCD regardless how far you are. But the screen size, I always say a foot for every 10 inches. So 7.5 feet for 77, 8.5 or more go 83. But if you're at up to 9 feet and you don't want to spend that extra money on the 83, the 77 will still be fine. There's like anything over 9 feet, then I would definitely push for bigger.
Agreed.
Yeah. We're sitting like 12, 15 feet away from my 83 inch. And it's not just the distance, but it's also just the giant wall makes the TV look tiny. And so, a lot of other things come into play too, like just how big of the stand or, what other things you have on your wall, how far away you are. But I mean, it's making me want to get like a projector now because it's so huge, our wall. It's like, give me the 100-inch or give me 150,
120, 150.
Dude, honestly,
we're going there.
We just watched Ghostbusters in the IMAX, and my kids are like, our TV's small. I'm like, but they both agree. All the 7-year-old and 11-year-old both say it looks better though. Like they can tell how good it looks.
Yeah, and you can tell absolutely. Hey, Addie, thank you for that super chat. For amazing videos on landscape, or is that Manscaped? Check out the Time Lab channel. Their Hong Kong and Switzerland videos are absolute perfection. I will take that into consideration. That's interesting because, I have to say the YouTube content out there for just 8K HDR or 4K, I'm saying they're pretty impressive. It's difficult to distinguish them from some Blu-ray discs now because it's so good. So, I think YouTube's improved their decompression or compression algorithm for sure. And here we go. Hey, whoa. Noah. Thank you, senor, for that super chat. Let's see. There we go. Thanks for answering before. Researching for my parents. Don't we all? We'll get an 85-inch. Prefer X95J over QN98, but there's 2 large windows on the side walls, and direct sun is a problem in the middle of the day. So both TVs do have the anti-glare, anti-reflection. So you're going to have, I hate to say, you're going to have to try them both because you may not like the rainbow effect of the QN90A. It may be an issue. If you watch a lot of dark room content, the QN90A, I think, does a better job of blooming, anti-blooming, and such content. So it really depends on your preference. TV that large windows, I'd take the QN90A, play it safe since they're both within your budget. What do you guys think about his deciding 85-inch X95J versus QN90A?
When it comes to those two, I just go for whichever one's cheaper at the size you want. When it comes to the reflections for parents, it's like went to a family member's house for Thanksgiving yesterday, and they have a Element TV with a lamp shining right on it. So I think a lot of people just don't care.
All right.
I was busy getting rid of some weird comments.
Getting rid of hot girls?
Yeah, hot. Well, and it was hot boys too. So it was even,
That's true.
Not my thing, but general neutral weird porn or something. Anyways, I do want to say hit the like button if you can, people. I'm like the annoying guy that has to keep saying that. There's like 100 people watching right now that haven't hit the like button. Just do it real quick. Really appreciate it. Try to get to all your questions. And also, if you have a chance while you're hanging out, it looks like my pinned comment at top isn't really like clickable. So I don't know. It's not really working, but go down in the description. The top link is manscaped.com/remote. If you click on that, you don't even have to add a promo code or anything.
Oh, wait. Why don't we blast Manscaped on Classy's face again? It seems to get some good laughs.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
The graphic, the one with the flying balls.
Classy, I'd switch spots with you, but I can't. So
here.
There you go. I'll do it again. Boom. Classy there. Ball acorns coming at you.
Oh, is that what they are? Acorns? Oh boy, was I wrong.
I don't know. They're balls of some sort. There's a nutcracker. I'm assuming there's some sort of
walnuts.
Nuts. Walnuts. There you go. That's probably what they are. Walnuts. And also, there's the website. I think I spelled it right. Manscaped.com/remote. 25% off entire website if you use the link in the description. Boom.
And TechMed. This is a great story, TechMed, because oftentimes your use case may be similar to others. I had a guy at my home yesterday buying my HW950A soundbar. He was a total LG OLED fan, of course, but he was stunned watching my Q900A. He didn't expect this. He owns the LG G1 and loves it, of course. This is exactly Classy's reaction. We were at the shootout, and right, Classy, you saw the Q900A, and you're like, okay, I want that TV. And I was stunned. I go, what? Is this the Classy? I know. So you're not the only one, my friend. go.
Oh, here we got to say what's up to Jonah. Are you going to click on? Let me click on one real quick. What's up, Jonah? How's it going, dude? What are my thoughts? Our thoughts on the HTA9? I think FOMO and I both like it. People are complaining about the cutouts.
That's it.
Jonah is a soundbar like master. He knows all of the sound bars. He did an awesome video on all the sound bars you guys can think of. So if you're looking to get a nice high-end sound bar, he has reviewed all of them. So check out his channel, Jonah Mathis. And I'm sure he's considering if he's going to buy the HTA9 and review it. I bet you he will. But
you gotta.
What's up, Jonah? How you doing, bud?
You gotta get it and review it, Jonah, if you could find it. Only
Dude,
because
it sounds great, man.
So much interest, right? Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
And it's great. We watched. So what did we watch last night? We watched A Boy Called Christmas, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, using the big TV as a center channel. It sounded perfect. I had the rear surround speakers down on like 4 or 5, and I could move them up and down on my screen. I'd put the sub up to like 7 or 8 out of 12. Both of those were perfect. It didn't annoy anyone, but it was like, the sound was very good. It just, you could hear like the reindeer in the background on one side, and then you'd hear like an arrow go over your head. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool movie,
yeah,
pretty cool system. And I definitely think it's good with Sony TVs. That's where I'd say it's definitely good with Sony OLEDs.
It's immersive. It's hard to get that immersion. Now, if you're going $2,000, there's a lot of options, but still having large speakers as surrounds definitely helps.
A lot of people have been talking about the QN900 or the Q900A as well being a really good system for the price. Just
now that the discounts are hitting,
exactly.
So at the beginning of the year, we're like, but now 5,500, they're dropping down in price. I believe 5,500 for the 85-inch. It is flagship pricing, but it's less expensive than the Sony A90J, and it gets you that HDR impact that I love so much. For 5,500, the HDR impact is actually very, very impressive. Hey, Christian, thanks for that super chat. New to this, didn't know about super chats and can't copy and paste.
There you go. I got it for you.
I'm sorry. I bounced.
No, it's okay. I should have let you finish reading it. I was trying to find the comment that they said.
Oh, yeah. If it's the same question, all good.
This is the question they were referencing.
Okay. Currently have the 75-inch Q70A with micro jitter on some 4K content. Yes, I noticed Samsung has an issue with that. And been looking at the A80J 77-inch, living room's medium, lit to well lit when sun hits the window. Or should I go for the X95J instead? Well, if you're staying at the 75-inch size, I'd go with the 77-inch A80J. I think it's phenomenal, but then it doesn't have the anti-glare, anti-reflective, and the medium to well lit is not an issue. It's whether the window itself is reflecting off your TV. If it is, the X95J will do a better job fighting that off because of anti-glare than the A80J, which doesn't have the same level of anti-glare. So I'd say go with the X95J, but see if for that budget you get the 85-inch, which is like $3,300 right now, so a few $100s more. But I know you see these questions all the time. What are your thoughts on his question, Classy?
I think the Q70A is an edge-lit, like it's a good TV, but it doesn't come close to those. So I would say go for the X95J just because he hasn't been with OLED yet, and you're in the if that sun is hitting anywhere on the screen. Then the X95J is just so bright.
Yeah,
you're going to get just a huge upgrade overall, and you're going to save $700 over the A80.
There you go, and that's as good as it gets to me too. That's great perspective, because if you've never had OLED and you don't know what you're missing, this will still look like a great TV regardless, and you won't know what you're missing out on. If you're coming from an OLED or something very similar, then you'll see the difference. Otherwise, yep, great recommendation. Thanks, Classy. Hey guys, I scooped up a 75-inch Q90T for $2,100 and the HW850A soundbar for $680. Can't wait to have Geek Squad install everything. I appreciate all your help and videos. Yeah, that's why we're here, and I think that's a great system you have coming up, my friend, for sure.
I see a comment about the forums going nuts about the 900H issues. It's like, where have you been for the last 15 months?
Wait. wait. What am I missing out? So what's happening?
At the Mate 1, the 32 timestamp, the forums are going nuts about the 900H issues. Like they have been going nuts about 900H since it came out like 15 months ago. It is the largest thread on AVS forum in history,
Okay,
I believe.
I have to say, I thought this was a new issue. Are we talking about the same tired VRR issue that Sony is probably not going to do anything further than what they have done right now? Is this it, the VRR?
All I know is that thread just rehashes the same thing every day.
Come on, guys. If you're getting a gaming TV and you're serious about gaming, why go through the heartache? You've done your research. Just get the LG OLED C1, C10, G1. It doesn't matter, right? C10 on up will be a better gaming for those people that need those I guess features, VRR, 4K 120. But well, here's a question for you, Classy. If you're locked in 4K 60 HDR, don't care about VRR, right? Is the X900H gameable? I mean, is it good enough?
Yeah, it's fine. It's 60.
Yeah, that's the thing. All you people, if you're serious about 4K 120, you're on Series X, whatever, right? Okay, but otherwise, it's not that bad. It is bad if you look at 4K 120, but for most people, it's a non-issue, and they end up not getting a great deal. That is the Sony X91g 85-inch for $2,200. Right.
Suppose I should have coughed before I unmuted my mic. That's okay.
That's me, Corey. I would have more FOMO for not having OLED because I've seen OLED. Or worst case is you go to a friend's house that has a small 65-inch OLED. And you're like, oh no! And now you can't unsee the beauty of OLED. So stay away from friends' houses that have OLEDs in the dark. Then you're going to be like,
oh, now I'm on the bottom. Now they said I'm going to get hit in the face with balls.
Oh, you can move yourself out of the way anytime.
It's fine.
Hey, oh, wait, wrong one. Here we go. I thought this was kind of cool. Here is a person who loves Sonys. Hey, thanks, Crypto Colorist, for sharing your story. Best Buy gave me back $1,525 after I complained about some vertical banding on the 85-inch. So did they let you keep the TV and get $1,500 back? It doesn't sound like that's the price of the 85. But if it's credit, dude, I take vertical banding at $1,500 all day long, actually.
CMS, run the PS5 to your A80 and use eARC if you don't have a new AVR.
Does everything the new model does except for what I think? Is that what he's talking about? I see it.
Yeah, just run the PS5 to the TV and use eARC.
Yep, agreed. Definitely. All right, let me see. Get it caught up here.
Do we need to go over any other TVs, you guys?
Yes, we do. You know what? Let's capture some TVs that we've reviewed. Good reminder. Thank you.
So CMS followed up, but that's more of a Brandon question.
About what?
So he was trying to minimize cables going over the fireplace to his TV. But I just told him to run the PS5 HDMI to the TV and use eARC.
Oh yeah, running cords over fireplaces can be annoying. I don't know if the fireplace is like a niche, and then there's niches on each side of the fireplace or one or the other. You can actually run the wires into the fireplace and then down to the side, which is easy. But if it's like a flat wall, it can be very annoying to try to hide all those wires. So then it's like, if you can use an AVR and just have one go to the TV, or a lot of people will put HDMI cords inside the mantle and hide them. But concealing wires around the framing of a fireplace is not easy on a flat wall because there's a lot of stuff you're going to run into. So that's one where you probably want to hire a professional to install it.
Yeah, it's like if you're not running them through the wall somehow, and you're going to have even just power and one HDMI, just get those channels that you can.
Yeah, the cable mate.
Yeah. Be able to fit another wire through there.
And if you get the package of there's like a $30, $20 package, they'll have like angles. You can get like a 90-degree angle. They'll have an inside elbow, outside elbow, so you can make it look pretty neat.
And that was answering CMS's question. So Rick has a request. He doesn't want to see balls in your face. He'd rather see it on Classy's face. So there you go, Rick.
Here we go. Let's do I was just going to do it to myself. I'm just trying to do it to myself. I don't have a Classy Bear with me. Yeah, sorry.
That is funny. Hey, so you guys saw the confirmation from Cryptologist or Crypto Color Lights, right? He got $1,500 back, and he got to keep the TV. dude, everyone just complain about your vertical banding, see how much money you get, because I'm never going to turn down free money like that. So thank you for that suggestion, my friend. That is a good idea.
Then you can always contact Sony and be like, hey, can I get a new panel?
Hey, work the system. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong
Dude,
with that.
I'm highly impressed. We have almost 200 likes out of 250. That's pretty good.
That is.
We're used to having like 500 people on these streams, though. It's still kind of this whole thing about FOMO and I have bigger channels, but then it's harder to get people to come to this channel. I'm not sure why, but you guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you are, so that, you know, this doesn't come as a notification like after the fact.
Right.
If you're subscribed to the channel and you hit, you know, the notification bell to all, then you'll be subscribed and you'll be notified right away. But yeah, some people may not even realize that they're not subscribed to this channel, and then that's why they're getting late to the party here. And also make sure, if you have an opportunity, go to manscaped.com/remote, 25% off the entire website. Boom. Back to you, FOMO.
Thank you, my friend. And I'm just going to have to say that this is, one more time for those who missed it, this is an incredible observation by Cryptocolor Lights. Thank you. And one of our faithful and regulars. If you complain about imperfections and decide to keep the TV, Best Buy will offer you money. That is definitely sometimes. But you know what?
He's probably a good salesman. He probably did a good job selling.
You could tell. Can you tell he's a good salesman? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you happen to have an attractive girlfriend, ask her to do it. You know,
there you go.
Good-looking girls get what they want. Hey, B and FOMO Classic. I'm a hardcore gamer. PS5, Xbox Series X. Got a chance to get a 65-inch LG C1 or QN98, and combine it with a Q950A soundbar. Which TV is the better one for me? Hey, I'd say the LG C1. Why not? The soundbar is not what would determine my decision, but then that's me. You guys have a preference between his choices there?
Someone asked me about the Q Symphony. Like, I wouldn't recommend like just exactly. Like, I don't think like, oh, the TV can work with the soundbar. Like, it does for the HDA9 because of the OLED quality and sound, but that's different. This is just TV. They're just typical TV speakers on the back of the TV. So, you know, I think in general, the C1 is a better TV overall. And then, you know, you got the QN98 that's brighter, less concern. You know, it does have the cool like picture-in-picture features and stuff that you can do. If you have a Samsung phone, you can now touch it to the screen and make it do some crazy things. So there's some side items that are pretty neat about it. But I don't know, gaming-wise, what do you think, Classy?
I think the C1's more consistent, just because the only issues really with the QN90A is like in dark scenes when the local dimming, like it's working local dimming, but it's not as good as out of game mode. So your dark scenes can have lifted blacks, and really bright spots can sometimes overbloom and then contract and get distracting. But it's still a really good gaming TV if you have a really bright room or you like your SDR gaming really, really bright. Otherwise, the C1's more consistent. And since you have two consoles, the Samsung only has one HDMI 2.1 port, so you'll need to get a splitter or a switch. So, you know, I would say C1, unless you just really want that bright gaming.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a follow-up to his earlier question. Thank you, Christian. Gave us more detail with the super chat. He got $400 off from Amazon. Total paid for is $1,200 now. And if you're comparing $1,200 to a 77-inch A80J, I can't justify that premium because you're going an entirely different price range as well as quality, but that's money, right? Hold on. I mean, if it's $1,200, why don't you hold on to the savings, wait 2 years, and then you'll get the A80J level quality for much less, because the Q78 isn't a bad TV. It's great for gaming. It's just, that's a huge premium. So, yeah.
Is this the one that didn't like the micro stutter?
Yeah, this is the one that didn't like the micro stutter. No, I can't live with a micro stutter. I just go with a Sony. But Sony's not a gaming machine, so that's another thing. I don't know. Maybe he's overpaying for the Q78. He doesn't game. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say just for now, then just pay $1,600 for the X90J, and you get 5-year warranty from Costco if you go there. So it's only a little bit more to fix your motion problem, and then just get a better TV too.
Hello, Julio. Thank you for that super chat, my friend. Currently 65-inch AH8 OLED, which I loved, so that's what he has. However, I'm moving it to my bedroom looking for a bigger size. Either the new Sony A77-inch A80J or the Samsung QN900A85. Go with the QN985 because size is just the QN900A, the size, the brightness, the impact, and the slight compromise to black levels is still worth the overall balance if this is in your budget. So I'd actually say go with a larger TV in this case, even though it's not an OLED, the impact is preserved completely, I think. What do you guys think Julio should do?
Well, he's he's going from OLED, so moving that into the bedroom is good. I wouldn't, the Samsung is going to be so bright. It's going to be crazy bright. So that's good. You probably like that. As long as that's not going in the bedroom, you don't need such a bright TV in your bedroom. But I think that's good, good recommendations. I want to get that 85-inch. It's not available around here, but I definitely want to see how good it is, how clean the panel is. I'm assuming it's going to look pretty awesome. And now that the price isn't $9,000, it makes it more appealing as well. Still is. That is still what? Is it $2,400 more than the 77-inch A80J though? So,
yeah,
I mean, for that difference in price and the fact that you already have a Sony OLED, I could also say get the 77-inch OLED. Then you have money to, spend on something else too. It's a pretty good amount of money difference.
Pretty good. Sometimes we forget the amount of savings might have a huge impact on them because they could upgrade their sound system and still spend the same. Hey, Black Francis, thanks again for that super chat. Subscribe to FOMO, Be Classy, Pastor, and of course, my guy, Brian Whisper Status. Love you all. Hey, today is right after Thanksgiving. We are thankful to have viewers like you. Thanks again, Black Francis.
Right. Yeah. Do people in other countries, they don't celebrate Thanksgiving Day. So what do they think about us on that day? It's just a Thursday for them, I guess, huh?
Yeah, it's just another Thursday, right? Hey, Frank. Good question. Why do I have the X91J green versus the 85J? 85J has Triluminous Pro, whereas X91J does not. So here we go into the lingo that Sony throws out there. Honestly, it all comes down to, at this price, I like personally the X91J because it has dimming zones, which the 85J does not. For me, this makes the 91J a better HDR TV. It'll be brighter as well than the 85J. Both are 4K 120, so the motion will be very similar. But for me, I really enjoy HDR. Now, if you're just looking at SDR, don't care about the HDR impact, 85J would be fine. But I don't believe the Triluminous brings as much to the table as dimming zones does as far as what you see, because it affects light and luminance. But what are your thoughts on this, Classy? Because I know you've reviewed the 85J this year, right? What do you think?
Yeah, and I don't like it. And I don't care what marketing terms they want to throw out there. It is not better in any way. It's dimmer. The accuracy is not on Sony's level. It has the same processor as the 91J and the 900H. You lose a lot with the 85J for not much money saved. So that's where I would take the Q70A over the X85.
Now, here's a great comment. I haven't been following the Sonos deals, but I noticed there's been no deals on Sonos, not just Black Friday. I haven't seen any deals for Sonos this year other than, kind of like combo deals where you have to buy a whole bunch of stuff for $100 off or whatever. But overall, it looks like Sonos doesn't need the extra promotion because they're selling out. Have you guys noticed any significant lack of deals from Sonos for any reason?
It's similar as some of the high-end products, some of the Sony products. They don't need to. I mean, they sell their products all over the world, you know. So, I mean, there's just, if you really want to get a good deal on it, you can always try to look at the Best Buy. They'll have some open box products because people don't really understand that you need other products to connect, or you got to run them off of an app. They don't have a remote, things like that. So there are some open box products sometimes. I did get the Sonos 5s for, I think they were $500. I got them for like $300 each. So there's significant savings on open box stuff.
Agreed. And what we're talking about, kind of going over some of our favorite TV reviews this year, because not everyone has caught all of our videos. So this kind of gives them a peek into okay, this was our conclusion, but go back to our videos and watch it for more detail. And for me, I think I was most impressed by the U7G based on the price. Currently, $650 for the 55, $900 for the 65, because the other great TVs, they're great, but you're paying a premium, right? Even discounted, it's significantly more expensive. I'm just so impressed how close Hisense has been able to elevate its mid-tier TV, which is the U7G below its U8G higher tier, get it so close to all the competitors for a pretty good price. And I think this is where we're going moving into 2022, where I think the LCD TV makers, they know where they need to be and they're going to stay there. They're just going to make things cheaper without necessarily making things super awesome. But what TV reviews have you done, Brandon and Classy, this year that you kind of want to revisit and remind people, hey, this is something that impressed me? Because we've done so many reviews, it kind of lose track of the context.
I think I definitely want to look at the Samsung QN90A just to see where where it would rank in my mind versus some of these other TVs I've seen lately. So that's definitely one. Or the QN900A. Obviously, we keep talking about that. But yeah, I think obviously a lot of people are talking about A80J and the C.
Oh, did we lose you or did you lose me?
I'm here. I can.
Okay.
I think he froze.
I think so too. All right. Well, then we will wait for Brandon to come back. As soon as he does, we'll throw him in. How about you, Classy? You've done a lot of reviews this year, so.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys?
Hey, welcome back, Brandon. Yeah, we lost you.
No worries. Go ahead, Classy. I'll catch back on. I heard you guys the whole time. For some reason, it got weird on my end though.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like TVs that I reviewed that didn't get a lot of views, I think the 5 series was really good for the money. I think for most people, TCL 5 series is going to have enough HDR impact, and the price right now is just so good on the 5 series. The 6 series, I think, starts to have more competition, but at the price of the 5 series, there's just nothing else in that range that I would consider over it. And then I think I really like the X95J, and at 75 inch, it sits there alone as the premium, around $2,000 TV that I don't see anything else in that price range for the 75 agreed. X95.
What do you think of the LG C10 at 2,500? People forget that that's still on sale or still being sold.
That's too close to a C1 at this point.
Yeah. I think we're almost to the next year already. We're almost to the next year. Okay. I think when I was cutting off, one of the things I was saying is that A80J from Sony versus C1 is something that just seems to have a lot of interest. I think it's because the prices they're so competitive. But I mean, that's a video that has by far my most views comparing those two TVs. I saw it early on this year. I was like, wow, that video is getting a lot of attention. I think it's because people are really making that tough choice. Maybe even more than an OLED versus QLED now is like which of the top OLEDs should I buy? So that's another one. But I had said the QN90A and the Q900 as well. I'm not sure when I cut out.
This kind of brings up a revisiting of a comparison that I did earlier, which was my flagship shootout with the Q90A versus the X95J. And this is why it's so important that many of us hold on to these TVs a little bit longer. I did not get a chance to compare the Netflix, Dolby Vision, Midnight Mass that a lot of people on the AV forums were complaining of. Like, oh, this is why I'm returning the X95J. And it's the slight blooming and haloing in that scene that requires you to really fine tune that setting. And even then, it falls behind the Q90A. But just as a reminder, that's that one episode, that one scene. Overall, the X95J looks phenomenal. And in many other scenes, the color is richer than Q98. But given that scene and the context, I've always said that Q98, its black control is consistent. So it's something that you all have to consider is you're paying a little bit extra for the Q90A for those consistencies. But then the X95J consistently has a bit more color because I noticed in the same scene, everything is just a little bit richer and both were calibrated. But what are your thoughts about these minor differences or major for some? Does this change your mind with your position on either the Sony or the Samsung flagship?
I'd be willing to bet that it's the Dolby Vision, whatever conversion stuff that not just Sony, but any Dolby Vision TV is struggling with. So I would suggest use an external device and then set the HDMI port on the TV to enhanced so it doesn't have Dolby Vision, and just watch it in HDR10. I mean, on the Samsung, that's what you're doing anyway.
I'm finding the same. I'm finding the same thing because in Dolby Vision, I'm not allowed to really fine tune as well. So I'm becoming less and less impressed with Dolby Vision for flagship TVs more than ever. Before, all my comparisons were, yeah, they're pretty close enough, whatever. But now it's like, if you get the wrong Dolby Vision profile, you put up Dolby Vision bright, everything is screwed up, not realizing that you should try dark, because most people aren't as attuned to these settings, and they just, oh, I like bright, and it goes, oh, wow, this is terrible. And they blame the TV when in fact it's Dolby Vision that kind of screws up.
Yep.
What are your thoughts, Brandon, on this Dolby Vision not exactly being the best image quality all the time?
I don't know. I don't really get into some of that stuff. I mean, I can tweak the TV to get it to the way that I like it. I have had no problems with the Dolby Vision on my OLEDs. Is that primarily for the LED or what?
That was the LED, not the OLEDs. Yeah, that was the X95J.
Right, because you guys are just talking about QN90A versus X95J in general, or specifically because of that?
Specifically because of that, because the other LCD TVs, so my other comparison was the TCL, it was just barely better than the X95J. So definitely this only affects LCD TVs because it just lifts that dark area terribly. And I'm just wondering how much of this is just Dolby Vision grading it badly just for that one scene. So
yeah, I mean, I think both those TVs are good. I had a little bit of like weird black uniformity with the X95J where when it would go to a black screen or change scenes, sometimes it would remain like lit up in some areas. And the QN90A just had some dirty screen effects. So I think if the dirty screen effect was out, then you have the Dolby Vision stuff. They're both really good TVs, but tough decision. It's like a 50-50 for me.
Yeah. I love this question, this super chat here from Christian. Thank you again. One final question. I'm planning on getting the PS5 and will only game when kids are not around or sleeping. Does that change your previous recommendations? I find the PS5 to make all TVs look better for gaming. The PS5, it feels to me like it was designed for all TVs. You don't need anything special. They assume you have a 4K 60 HDR TV and they're going to focus on that, which means they're not pushing their games to really do 4K 120 with VR and all that fancy stuff. So with that in mind, any TV you get, more often than not, will look better on the PS5 consistently because there's not very much you can do beyond that, right? Because I think the game's objective is to look at a 4K 60 HDR. Now, that's my own conclusion. Who knows what Sony's really thinking? So it doesn't make a difference as far as my recommendations are concerned. If anything, don't worry about gaming features as much if you're on the PS5. What are your thoughts about his questions with the PS5, guys?
I think that reinforces what I said to his last one of just getting the X90J, because you're getting a much better TV than the Q70A, and you don't have to worry about VRR, and it matches well with the PS5, and it's only a few $100 more.
Agreed. Yeah, it makes it so much easier when I hear them say, I'm a gamer, but it's a PS5. Like, don't worry about it. Whatever TV you have, it's going to look easy. It's going to be easier to match the gaming content with it because you don't have to worry about Dolby Vision. You don't have to worry about all the drama that's going to start happening as you see more and more titles with Dolby Vision. People will compare. They're going to start complaining. And now you're only going to have forums complaining about Dolby Vision gaming, which I believe is going to start anytime now. I'm not impressed by it, or I'm not impressed by it based on Classy's recent videos. So why don't we take it from the horse's mouth, Classy? Share with us what your opinion is of Dolby Vision gaming right now as it stands.
The problem is the whole point of Dolby Vision is dynamic metadata. And when we were at the shootout and I was talking to the guy from Sony, and he's talking about how, you can have, when you're in a game, it's different than a scene of a movie, because you can be looking out at a wide open field with a mountain in the distance, whatever, and turn around, there's a building behind you, something like that. It's just it changes too drastically. So that's going to increase input lag to be unplayable. So that's why we don't have any games with dynamic metadata and Dolby Vision. So it defeats the purpose. And then Dolby Vision is going to have more posterization in games that we're seeing. And then when it comes to like Halo, they capped the brightness to 400 nits. So you're just better off using HDR10. And that's why I'm looking more towards HDR10 Plus for gaming than Dolby Vision at this point.
What are we assuming? How is HDR10 Plus going to be better for gaming? What are the assumptions? Because I'm not familiar with how it's supposed to be better than Dolby Vision for gaming.
All I've seen is from Samsung. So let's just put them in their own thing, and we're just talking Samsung HDR10 Plus. They're stating that it's going to be able to kind of like what Sony's doing with the PS5, telling the console you can get this bright, so you don't have to mess with it. That's pretty much what HDR10 Plus on Samsung's going to do. Is it'll read what TV you have, it'll know how bright it can get, and then it can do everything that it does, and it can work with the local dimming and everything else, and go up to 10,000 nits.
Well, and there you have it. I'm hoping.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah, TechMed, thank you for coming by. We always appreciate your viewership and attendance at these things. I've noticed that the FreeSync Premium Pro, we're talking the PC GPUs, there's too many problems to get everything to work. So far, I have not been impressed by the implementation. I don't know what the problem is, whether it's on Samsung side, on the GPU side, or on the actual game developers to make it work. But I am not getting 4K 120 VRR HDR. Let's just get that out of the way. Even with FreeSync Premium Pro, I have not found anyone successfully able to run any Premium Pro game on a QN90 with the right GPU to get that resolution. So let's throw that out. The question is it worth all this trouble just to get 4K 60 HDR and VRR? And that's something I'm still looking at. But right now, I haven't been impressed at all. It's just so time consuming to get this stuff to work on the PC side. And this is why Series X, PS5, now more than ever, you guys, if you're gaming even semi-seriously, just get a console, because the PC thing is just killing me.
Mm-hmm. I was going to put this up about large screen, 83-inch. Why did I pick the someone ringed our door? Can you hear that or no? I don't know if you guys can.
I didn't hear anything.
It's ridiculous. We have like the doorbell that was put in here is so loud. Anyways, asking why we'd pick the Sony over the C1 for the 83-inch. I thought the TVs were pretty similar. I think just in general, I thought that the A90J looked better than the C1, which is why I picked it. And I did get a discount on it, which made it easier for me. So I don't expect everyone would pick the A90J over the C1. I think they're both awesome. I think you can't lose. Obviously, there's maybe a small benefit to the A90J for watching movies and all that, but it's so expensive that it makes it harder. But yeah, give me 1 sec. I'll be right back.
Okay. Right. All right, guys, really quick, because I think this question goes to what you did recently. I want to get you to kind of share with us your thoughts now that you had a chance to get some comments, look into follow up. So MediaTek released their 8K, we'll call it an 8K gaming chip, right? 8K high performance, 4 by HDMI 2.1 ports, and it supports everything under the sun, or it does it. What are your thoughts about the future of TVs given that MediaTek announcement?
As with all new tech, it can sound great on paper, but let's wait for it to come out and see how it is in real practice and how the software works with it. But on paper, it's supposed to be the fastest processing chip that's in smart TVs. It has 4 HDMI 2.1 up to 8K 120. No, the TVs aren't going to do that because we need new HDMI cables before that happens, or for them to start using DisplayPort, which probably isn't going to happen.
Right. The next generation DisplayPort, right? How long is that going to take?
Yeah. So, but the point is they made it so this chip should last a while. So hopefully it addresses everything and it works well. Although kind of related, I saw an article last night that MediaTek and Samsung phones has been hacked so they can eavesdrop. So it's like, how long until they hack the MediaTek TVs and use your microphone on the TV?
Right. Now, honestly, how many people leave their TV plugged in? A lot. Because that goes to another recent announcement, which was that the Vizio revenues, their ad revenues from their SmartCast is more than twice as much as your TV sales. You guys got to think that. The only reason they make money is if you guys keep your TV plugged in. And maybe this goes to the visual consumer. I don't know. But if most consumers are like that, man, it's going to be a big problem moving forward. So we can't tell you to unplug it enough. But then again, if you're streaming off your TV, try streaming off a stick or something. Because if you leave it plugged in, yeah, this sort of hacking is going to be an issue in the future, near future. Now, the question is, maybe the new MediaTek chip could help Sony TVs next year. Okay, so just so you guys know, it's too late for Sony now. If Sony hasn't implemented it now, so next year's pipeline is done. It's in manufacturing. It's ready to go. So
MediaTek said they are in 2022 TVs.
They are in, right? So the Sony, so it's already been out. It's just announced now.
Yeah, so the manufacturers would have gotten them, and then they just publicly announced it. So they're supposed to be in next year TVs.
So there you go then. Mm-hmm. Whether Sony will implement it is another question.
Yeah.
And well, who does that leave? That leaves TCL and Hisense. We know Samsung has their own chip, and so does LG. Mm-hmm. If TCL, go ahead.
My thought on it was the A90J and the A80J. So the A80J, I think, is just going to get a slight refresh and hopefully that new chip. But I think instead of launching earlier in the year, I think they came out in May last year, or this year. Sorry, I think they might push it just because they're already so good and selling so well. I can see them releasing in June, July, just pushing it back a couple months like they did the X95, and that way they can get that new chip in there.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see, because I think part of Sony's issue is they have to make sure the chip works with their image processor as well, right? Mm-hmm. Work nicely with that as well. And this kind of goes to this is the TV we've been recommending all year, which is a 77-inch A80J. And his complaint is, it's not really going much below 3,000. It's been like this for 2 months. And just as a reminder, at 1 or 2 points in the fall, it actually hit 2,800. I think it was maybe in September. You guys remember that? But it was briefly. And then we assumed, okay, you know what? It'll hit 2,800 again on Black Friday. Never did. Never saw it hit 2,800 again. And we're in Black Friday. So way back in early fall around September, we're talking about the cheapest price normally is on Black Friday, or it will come back on Black Friday. Not necessarily the case this year. Do you guys find this unusual at all based on your past Black Friday experiences?
I think it's pretty normal. I think last year it was close, but then it got like the same price again, or it went like low a month before, and then it went back up, and then it went back down. I think they're just trying to sell TVs, man. I don't know. It's like, if they're not gonna have people bum rushing the stores to buy everything, that they're just like, let's just put them on sale and sell. And I think these TV prices are incredibly good, regardless. 3,000 or less for an OLED of 77 is a steal. I know it's still hard to fathom, but I mean, $200 off is like, what is that? 8%? 8%.
Yeah. I mean, it's not huge, but
6%, 7%. Right. So I think you're just going to get a lot more out of the TV by buying it, and just put that small price difference out of mind and enjoy your TV. That's what I would say.
I wonder how often we have this conundrum. He has an amazing 40-inch 2013 FH6030. I assume that maybe that is it's a full array LCD. Wants to get something bigger, but I'm not impressed with the price versus performance of 55-inch TV today. Would it be better to wait? What would he be waiting for, guys? Other than lower prices, right? Would it be a higher performing OLED? I'm just wondering. At the 55-inch, the quote-unquote best TV he could probably get is probably the Sony A90J, but is it that much better than what he has in terms of price to performance? I would think the Black Room and HDR performance would be significantly better than a 2013 TV.
He's just got a 2013 6 Series Samsung, so I think most of what he would want, most any TV is going to be better.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not impressed with TVs versus. I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to agree with that statement, because I think almost any TV is going to be really awesome for the cost. I don't know how much that TV was back then, but for even like a I guess you'd say the TCL or the Hisense U7G for like $600-700.
Yes, that's a great bang for the buck.
I mean, it's way better than that TV.
Way better.
Yeah, I mean the TCL 5 series is like 470, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean
that's
that
another
would
great
blow it
TV.
away. But if you want to go a little more premium, C1 for $1,300, that's really good deal for top-notch TV. So
I mean, I've had an old school TV. I had a 2012 like A650, which was like a $3,000 TV for like a 52-inch or some crazy thing like that. And yes, it was great. It, you know, I think it was 120 hertz. It looked like it had a 240, whatever. You know, it could smooth to 240, and it was amazing. But I got a 65-inch OLED, and it's way better now. You know?
So let's say his price is $500, and that's to Classy's point. TCL 5 series, $500. You're going to get a lot more than you paid $500, other than a larger size, the image quality. So yeah, definitely, you could take that $500 today and get a larger TV with better image quality. So I think we are at a price to performance ratio. Bill, try it out.
And if you paid $500 in 2013 with inflation, that's $600 today.
Well, for $600, you got the Hisense U7G 55-inch TV. Right there. That's such
what was the model
TV.
on the one? An FH6030 or the TH6030?
FH.
Okay, FH. So I have that here. Let me.
Yeah, put it up.
It got a 7.5 in mixed usage back in the day. 7.5 is not bad, but you know.
I'm going to take a quick break, guys, and we're right back in 2 minutes.
Yeah. The TCL, or both of the TVs that we're talking about, are better than a 7.5 in mixed usage on ratings.com. So, you know, just to compare them, that's not bad at all for a TV that's $500, but there are TVs that are at that price that are still better today. You know, let's look at this screen real quick. So what do you think, Classy? 55-inch. Can you see this okay?
Yeah, I can see it.
Let's go across these in like size, and what would you recommend? Like, first of all, we're talking about this 50-inch, 55-inch. Where do you think is a good price versus quality for the 55-inch TVs?
I think it starts with the 5 series. Let me pull it up to get the exact price.
Oh, is it not even on here? I think he said something about the TCLs, but yeah, go ahead. I mean, because the 6 series is $700 down at the bottom there, but yeah, I don't see the 5 series.
Yeah, the 5 series 55 is $469. Yeah, $470. Like that's a crazy good TV for $470. I mean, I reviewed it when it was like the 700, and I thought it was good at that. So, and that 5 series goes all the way up to 85 inches, I believe, or certainly 75. That's right. The 4 series goes to 85. The 5 series goes to 75. But the 75-inch 5 series is only 1,000. So
for which size? 75?
Yeah, he does have that one on the list, but
yeah,
I just think
there's a lot of good TVs for these smaller sizes. I mean, obviously, once you get up over 1,000, then you're starting to pay kind of a lot for a 55-inch. So it makes it harder to recommend. And that A90J at 2,800 is ridiculous. That price is for $2,800. It was 3,000 originally for an A90 for a small OLED. It's tough. Especially when you have a lot of good TVs, and even up to the 77-inch, like you just said, that are a lot less expensive. Almost every 77-inch TV is less expensive than that at 77, you know, than the 55-inch. Well, in the 65-inch, what do you think about that? So you have a lot of TVs that are under $2,000, including what I consider both the top two. Well, you have the top 3 like mainstream TVs in the Sony A80J, C1, QN90A, and then you have some below that.
Yeah, it's let's see. Yeah, see the problem with the 55 A90J, that's what I'm reviewing, and it's like that's the only downside to it is I'm going to have it sitting next to a 77 A80 that's basically the same price. And it's like, how can you justify that?
Yeah, and it gets the same thing. It's kind of similar when you get the 65-inch TVs too, because then you're talking about, you know, if you get a G1 2400 or a 65-inch A90J 3800, that's more expensive than 77s as well. And then you get down to like the QN85A at 65 is still IPS. So, and it's only $200 less than the QN90A. So I think the Sony A80J C1 and QN90A at 65-inch are good prices. It's still $1,300-1,200 less than the 77-inch. So there's a significant savings there to get the 65. FOMO, we're just going over kind of like price versus like quality and the different ranges on your matrix here. And we just talked about 55-inch, and Classy said the 5 Series TCL is pretty good. And then you got in the 65-inch, there's just such a huge range.
Yeah.
What do you think about the 65s? Is there one that strikes you as like, that's the one I would go to right now if you had like $1,000 or $1,500?
It's the X950H for most people. It's
1400.
It's last year's model. No one disliked that TV other than the lack of 2.1 for gaming, right? But let's throw that out. Everyone who's reviewed it, everyone who's seen it, they just loved it overall. Just such a good movie watching cinema. And at 1400, you're basically getting most of the X95J for 400 less. And definitely it's better than the X90J for movie and streaming. So for me, I'd save a little to get it. And it's premium, right? They treat it like they treat the X95J. I think it's great. Motion is great on that TV. Upscaling, it's got everything you need. So that would be my number one choice if people can push a little bit. But for under 1,000, U7G is just phenomenal. It gets close without being a Sony.
You know, it's funny. They didn't have the QN84A. They didn't have like an alternative last year for the Samsung flagship. They had a Q80T, which was right there in quality. Do you think it might be that the IPS didn't go over as well, or just that they didn't have as good as sales in the second tier TV that they had to rebrand some of them? Because last year I thought the Q80T was right up there against the Sonys, and price wise, even the Samsung was still pretty expensive for that Q80T, but it was a pretty good TV overall. It was right below the 90.
I think for sure the ADS panel, it was almost a blowback from consumers, but these are the enthusiasts, right? I think if you look at the Best Buy reviews, they loved it. But then on the forums, it's got a lot of people complaining that Samsung thinks we're stupid, we can't tell the difference, and we know exactly what materials to expose it. But then if you go by the Best Buy reviews, apparently people love it for their use case, which is straight on, no off angle. They don't expose it with certain content that would expose the ADS screen. So I think the 84A, from their point of view, it was done right. But from a marketing and reputation, it didn't go well with people because it felt like Samsung hid the fact that it was IPS. So I don't know. Now this price, I'm fine with it. But when it was first released, I thought it was just way too expensive.
Yeah, it's like when the average buyer for it is going to be the person who has, a Samsung from 8 years ago or something, loved it, buys it, and now it's much brighter and it still has the same Samsung look. So they're going to be happy with it.
Yep. Yeah, and also the person that bought it before, I mean, or people now, they have the money, so why cheap out if it's still expensive? Just put the VA panel, whatever, Hey, real quick, if you guys haven't hit the like button, please. I think eventually here we'll probably wrap up, but we get some questions answered. If you guys have, feel free to super chat. And if you have an opportunity after you click the like button, make sure you're subscribed, and then go down into the description. There is he got the bear ready, Classy. You got your bear ready. There is a sponsor for this video. It is Manscaped. We're going to shave the bear on live TV here. No, I'm just kidding. And it's got, so yeah, definitely hit the website up, manscaped.com/remote. It's our own link. You just have to click on it to get the best deal. You don't even have to add a coupon code or anything so that you so that you go on there and then forget to add the coupon and then pay extra. No, it's already in there, 25% the entire website. So just click on that in the description, either now or when you leave, and get some holiday cheer for your nether region.
And you know how CES always have those innovative awards, and innovative is quite a stretch for some of the awards, right? And I have to say, Manscaped Reviver Ball Toner, my innovation award of the year, because I just thought, wait a minute, what have we ever had? Ball toner or reviver. This is creative and it works. I use it. I have to try it out before I ever recommend something. And so far, no itchiness, just freshness on my side. So I recommend it mostly because I'm a user as well. And I'm going to ask for more of it from Manscaped. It's fun.
Here's one of my best, because I have a sizable nose, and with a sizable nose comes a sizable amount of nose hair. So this thing, no problem, man. The what's it called? The weed whacker.
The weed whacker.
You know, this thing gets its use. It's nice to have it in a separate unit. They have some attachments with some other products, but you know, I like the weed whacker here just to stay as it is. I like that it's got the nice LCD button here. It's like,
and it's could be used in the shower, right? Waterproof, usable in the shower. Gotta love it.
Waterproof-ish, right? We're supposed to say ish.
Yes. Hey, Aaron, thank you for that super chat. Looking to buy a Blu-ray player. Torn between the X800M2 and the Panasonic UB820. Yes, I have a lot of helpful info. First of all, if you're considering the X800M2, then just get the X700. The only difference between the two is the M2 has a larger case, and I think there's like some audio thingamajig that most people don't find useful anyway. So just get the X700M instead to save money, and it has Dolby Vision. That's all that counts, but it's still manual. You have to go into the Sony and manually toggle Dolby Vision on when you put in a Dolby Vision disc, and then if you put in a non-Dolby Vision disc, turn it off. Otherwise, it's going to try to treat like Dolby Vision, and that's messed up, right? The Panasonic UB820, on the other hand, two things that are better. One, it automatically recognizes Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus and will choose the right format for you. You don't have to manually choose anything. And number two, it has tone mapping. Now, some people find that important, some people don't, whatever. But the actual Blu-ray player has that tone mapping feature for you. But if you don't care about the tone map because you're getting an awesome TV anyway, and that normally is reserved for TVs with lower luminance, and you have a super bright scene and your TV can't handle that scene, that's when UB820 tone mapping comes into play. But since it's a $450 Blu-ray player, it doesn't make sense you're getting a cheap TV. So it really comes down to the auto select feature of the UB820 for both HDR10 Plus and Dolby Vision. And it is currently the only player sold in the US that has both Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus, assuming that's important to you. And Sony is fine. I have both. I have the X700 and the UB820. I don't mind that I have to toggle it manually. The image quality is the same as far as I'm concerned. So it's just, you know, how lazy are you? And if you don't want to switch things in and out, get the UB820. But yeah, they're both great.
Yep. So I am sharing my chart here.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just see. Laid out a little bit differently than yours. So mine's cool. Just more kind of for average buyer instead of you can only go a certain size or whatever. So this is just more of at what point should you go up in size or go down in size to get better quality at different price points. And I don't have any Hisense on here, but that's because I think for the money you can get a 5 series, which would be better deal than the U7G or the U7H, and then G, and then the 6 series I think beats the U8G. So
no, that makes sense to me as well. I think if you take out that 120 hertz native, did you notice for gaming? So let's take gaming out. Did you notice a motion difference between the U7G and the 5 series, if any?
I think TCL and Hisense motion is just a wash, and that they're both not as good as the rest.
Okay.
So
yeah, they're both equally average, right?
Yeah. So
all right, good enough. And hey, what do you have happening today? Because, you know, we're doing our live stream now, but are you doing anything special on your channel today, Classy?
No streams or anything. Probably gonna go spend some money I don't want to spend.
Nice.
Looking at that Atomos Ninja 5 on B&H for $500.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I keep getting close to buying a new camera, but I'm like, you know.
Get the accessory. You know what I like about cameras? The accessories you don't have to replace all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like an external recorder, the Atomos.
Dude, I need a lens. I'm sick of changing my prime lenses. I constantly, the bokeh, it just looks so nice. You know, even if you get like a G series, you know, if I get like the 16 to 35 or whatever, you know, it's not going to have that like thin slice of like field of vision where, you know, the prime lenses at 1.4 have, but it's kind of like annoying to sit here and go back and forth, but yeah.
So this is on sale for $2,000. So I went ahead and picked it up again because I want to compare it with the FX3. This is the Lumix S5.
Oh, okay.
So, and I'm working on a video that I'll put out. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it public, but I'll send it to you guys if I make it private. But it's I shot non-log, just the S Cinetone on the FX3 and the Cinelike mode on the Panasonic of the A90J. And then I shot both in log and used the same LUT on both. So it's a 2x2 comparison to see how much difference which camera makes. And in the Sony is not better in every way. So like in the log footage, I would give it to the Sony for certain aspects. But I think the Panasonic in its Cine mode actually beats the FX3, especially in black levels. So, it's interesting to do that.
Be interesting to see which one you end up with, because I know you're like,
because I have the FX3, but I have $7,000 into that camera with the lenses. This is $2,000, and it comes with a lens that works for TVs and everything.
Right.
And that's it. So
what can you do with the extra few thousand saved, right? So yeah, I couldn't agree more. More.
And it's like I don't need autofocus for the TV, and the Panasonic has really good lock focus when you just touch and lock it. So that's kind of what I'm working on, figuring out if I should save some money on the camera or whatever.
Agreed. I think that's a great deal, because it's one thing what's $1,000 difference for any equipment, but even as a business expense, you don't want to overspend. And speaking, if it's a business expense, Satya added Vizio M series or the U7G. I would choose the U7G all day long, but if you want to save more money, Classy has the TCL 5 series you could consider that should be as good as the Q7. But me not having reviewed the Q7, what are your thoughts on comparing Vizio's mid-tier against Hisense and TCL's?
I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just, I'm not like a Vizio hater, but it's just not one of my, like, I'm not like rushing out to buy a Vizio TV,
Yeah,
I think it's more like some of the software issues, some of the things they've just not put in the TVs. I mean, some of them are, pretty bright, but it's a tough call. I don't know much about that. I would recommend people look at ratings.com and try to check out the differences, because they probably reviewed them both.
Mm-hmm. And what they don't review is the SmartCast, which I've had two Vizios that I was not impressed by the bugginess of SmartCast. So, and it's very intrusive for me. So for me alone, the SmartCast is the reason why I don't get a Vizio. And now that I know more than half, or the SmartCast revenues from advertising are more than half the revenues from selling TVs, wow, that says where their focus is on moving forward.
Here, I'll actually let me put this on here, because they actually did. Here, this is the M7 was the TV, right?
Q7, M series Q7, I believe.
Oh, gotcha. Well, the point that I was going to make is that they actually did write on here they rated the interface. Mm-hmm. So they have the 2021 interface rated as a 7 out of 10, which is like on the lower end. Mm-hmm. And then they have the apps and features also rated at a 6.5, which is really on the lower end. So it is nice that they added kind of some of that stuff in there as far as the SmartCast, because I agree, I don't really like it. And it's not very fluid. I've gotten locked out of features and stuff. Yeah. So this is actually the M7. So it's not the exact TV you're talking about, but it's also, it's a different TV. I can pull that off.
Yeah, and I just don't see it beating the 5 series. But I don't know. It is a little more expensive, and I thought about picking it up. KG actually pointed out a Vizio deal that I actually would get if I had room. The military place that he buys from.
Oh, yeah.
His the 85 PQX for $1,300.
What is it? 85 inch, you said?
85. Yeah, 85 inch P Quantum Max for $1,300 or something like that. And it's like, dang, if I had size, I would probably take the risk.
That's tempting. Yeah, mine couldn't turn on. It couldn't stay connected to my HDR port for more than a review. I couldn't handle it. I only had a 65 inch. It was a 2019 65 inch PQX, but I struggled a bit too much with the HDR ports on that one. But 75 inch TV, I could not recommend this anymore, which would be the 75 inch TCL 5 series for $1,000. 75 inch. Your mom would love it. It's fine. I think at that price, it's going to be phenomenal. Or the X80J 75 inch, also great color. It works. Your mom won't know the difference between a VA panel or IPS panel. Most of those TVs people love. If she likes the name brand, go with the Sony. If you want a little bit more image quality bang for the buck with the 5 series, they're both around $1,000. I'm fine with both of those. I would choose them before the U6G because I think the color accuracy will be better out of the box than the U6G. I was not impressed with the U6G tone mapping, but more importantly, I cannot control the motion on the U6G. I do not like that I cannot control motion on a TV. I can on the X80J. So personally, I would get the X80J because I can have more control over motion. But that's me. So
we have a super chat here, but might be too time consuming to go over all of it. I maybe just get the brief response. It's like asking about like HDR setups, Dolby Vision.
Oh,
I appreciate it.
We'll do it fast. We'll do it fast, yeah. Aaron. Let's see how fast we can do this. Okay, so keep it classy tech. I've watched several of your A80J videos. Just got one. Wait, is it one question? Does it auto detect HDR and SDR, or do I set it for both? What is Dolby Vision Dark? How to access it? So
2,500 words or less. No, I'm kidding. That's like that's a lot of information.
This is easy enough. I think Classic can handle this. Go for it, Classic.
Yeah, just use custom mode, and then SDR and HDR will both use that. It'll automatically increase your brightness when going into HDR. You don't have to touch anything. And then for Dolby Vision, whenever you turn on Dolby Vision content, just set it to Dolby Vision Dark. It's the accurate mode, and you're done.
No, I didn't mean you had to do it, Sean. I just imagined it was a long question, but
no, that was
fairly
it.
Quickly.
It actually is a fairly quick question. Okay, so again, I'm gonna have to blame the TV makers and Dolby. They make it far more difficult than it has to be. Like Dolby Vision Dark, start dark. If there's something about it you don't like, then go to bright. But do not start bright and go to dark. Start with dark when it comes to Sony. I've noticed the bright has a lot of issues. Now on an OLED, it shouldn't be, but still start with dark and go from there, right?
The problem is it depends on the content and if it's native Dolby Vision or not. And sometimes bright is darker than dark, and sometimes dark's brighter. And if you want it to be accurate, leave it at dark. If you want to mess with it on each show you watch, then mess with it on each show.
And my response to RDP is where is the $6,000 A90J you're speaking of? And we'll post it. So more details, my friend. You can't just put that out there and tease us with that.
Meow. People are saying, what's up to your cat?
Yeah. This takes me to Austin Powers. Every time I see a cat like that, I'm like, oh, reminds me of Austin Powers. Hey, what does our time look like, Brandon? What are we up? How long are we up for? I want to make sure.
12:30 here. We've been on for 2.5 hours. It seems like some of the questions are dying down. We're happy to answer, but if we have some of the same people and people are getting ready to move on with their day, we can wrap too. I'm fine either way. I could head out.
Yeah.
Let me throw you one last curveball.
Go for it.
So we always say if you have Xbox, go for LG. If you have PlayStation, go for Sony. Playing Halo is better on the Sonys.
Just in general,
no matter what. The tone mapping, the gradation. So KG and I are both preferring gradation preferred on the Sonys over HGIG, because if you play a game that doesn't support HGIG, like he's been playing Vanguard, which doesn't, then it just is tone mapping off, which looks bad. On the Sony, you said the gradation preferred. It doesn't matter if it's HGIG or not; it's right. So
this takes it back to you. The only reason people recommend the LG OLED just generally is 4K 120 VRR. Just that's the standard answer. Mm-hmm. But if you're preferring the Sony, that means you find 4K 60 HDR fine. It doesn't matter if VRR even works, right?
So even 120, just no I just throw VRR out. I don't care about VRR. Yeah. Like the Sony's but the only problem with the OLEDs is the dimming. So that's why I think the X95J with gradation preferred is probably the best way to play Halo.
There you go.
Short of a QN900A.
There you go. And the QN900A. Oh, military exchange. This is
your boy responded, the military exchange. I mean, if they're selling it at the military exchange for $6,000, I mean, obviously it's a lot better price.
And that's what happens when you're in the military, folks, right? A few benefits. I think.
But then it's like if you buy it and then they see you buy 6,000, then they give you a demotion because they know that they're paying you too much.
Way too much.
They're like, it's a trick. Don't buy it, because then they'll know they're paying you too much, and then they take the money back.
Right. They're going to ask you, where did you get that? Well, I know KG loves his military exchange, so I'm surprised he hasn't found a way to sneak that one in. That's a great one.
Now he got the 77A80 from there.
Oh, he has
Should
A80 now.
It's coming in a couple weeks or something, I think he said.
All right.
Should we do some rapid fire questions? Like have you just everyone ask their questions and we'll just respond to anything?
Yeah, do it. Let's have fun.
All right. Just anything, even football. I just found out AJ Brown's out for the weekend. So there goes my best receiver. I'm mad about that.
Paul is
Football,
asking if you can put
movies,
the cardigan.
anything.
The
Yeah.
chart. The chart.
No, wear a cardigan. No, your chart here.
Oh,
Oops.
my chart. Oh,
There you go.
there we go.
That
All right.
one?
Yep.
Start asking
Boom.
away, my friends.
Fire away.
Okay,
56.
here's first question. 56.
Yeah, I was like the same thing.
The answer is yes.
How about smokes or edibles? Can you smoke on? I went out of the room to smoke because I didn't want to get in trouble. Can you smoke on screen or not?
You know,
Here, no one can see me.
arguable. I think the whole child friendliness, they keep on adding or taking away things. So I'd say play it safe. You don't want to get hit with not child friendly.
Yeah, and I smoke. I don't like edibles. I don't like edibles because they take like an hour to kick in, and then they make me feel like crap. I just like it right now. If I'm like needing it, I want it right now. So
here we go. 55-inch X80J TCL 546. That's the 5 series.
Yep.
We'll start with you. What do you think?
Hands down the TCL. I mean, you're going to get more accurate color with the X80, but there's a huge difference in the rest of the performance.
Agreed. Let's see here. X90J versus TLC 6 series, 646, 55-inch. At this point, I'm going to say X90J because I haven't nailed down the QC issues at whatever is happening on TCL. I'm going to have to hold TCL's foot to the fire in this. If you have the perfect TV from R646, great. But with so many people complaining, it's not a guarantee. X90J, I've heard no complaints about quality control. Just go with that. What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, and you get
agreed.
Really, really, really accurate out of the box. Like it's one of the most accurate TVs I measured.
All right, and here we go. TV with the best tack sharp depth.
I would say, or is that like kind of he just jumbled those words together?
Well, I'm thinking, okay, if it's depth, it requires luminance control, HDR, so it has to be OLED, and if that's the case, A80J, A90J, G1, C1, they all look great.
They're all good. I mean, people, right? We talk about this stuff a lot, but all 4 of those OLEDs are phenomenal. I made a video. It says Great Scott. It's just OLED comparison. I mean, I'm trying to pick it apart, but it's tough. They're all good.
Hey, installer, did you buy the dip?
I bought the dip before the dip. I thought it was the dip. I bought like a good amount of Solana, and then it immediately crashed another 15%.
So it dipped more.
Oh, yeah. And right now is a great time to buy the dip. I mean, literally, it's, Bitcoin is pretty low right now. I'm not sure where it's been since this morning, but people thought it basically on Monday, it's going to go up. So I think a lot of people are saying now is the time to buy Bitcoin at 54,000. When it's up to 70 in a week, you'll be happy you bought something today.
Yeah.
So definitely buy the dip if you're dollar cost average. I'm not a financial advisor.
Remember, Binance won't let me buy yet because my ID has my old address.
Oh my gosh, it's such a pain in the ass to get. Which one is it? Binance?
Yeah,
they're the worst.
Yeah.
Coinbase is easier, but I had the same issue with Binance.
Yeah, I want to buy some smaller coins.
I was trying to buy some safe move. Go to gate.io. It's pretty straightforward. You have to send money in through a wallet though, but I think you can buy with a credit card. Gate.io is a really good one. I bought some Infinity and it's already up 30%. It's like a metaverse one that's not available and it's up like 30%. So,
and remember, this is not financial advice, but for entertainment only. Hey, what happened to OD0? I'll tell you what happened. It was not released. It was launched. It never appeared in the USA. And apparently it's not even a thing. I believe they have an OD0 in China that's way overpriced. $10,000. They realize no one's going to buy it. So I think it's going to move into 2022. We're not going to see it in 2021. You could take that to the bank. It doesn't make any sense to release this late in the year a $10,000 TV. It is not vaporware. It is out there and being sold in China, unlike the Vidrian, which was vaporware to a certain degree. But it's just, TCL did not do its market research. $10,000, no, not going to happen. All right. Pastor Remote, what food did you guys eat yesterday besides turkey? All right, I'll start. I had, besides turkey, we had apple pie, pumpkin pie. There was actually fried chow mein with shrimp someone brought. And I'm trying to think what else was there. That was it. That's all I got. What you guys got?
Went to Mrs. Classy's family and they didn't have turkey. They had ham, super dry, no beans. had stuffing. You know how you make stuffing with ham? You can't put stuffing in a ham.
Be careful,
Super
trashing
dry.
the in-laws here, bro.
Sorry,
be careful, man.
But no,
She's
be
careful.
It was a ant or something.
Yikes!
But yeah,
This would get me
it
in
wasn't
trouble,
good.
man.
But I do my own Thanksgiving this weekend, so
I'm gonna do a couple here. Hold on, give me 1 second. Where are the family pictures, man? Oh, here we go. Can I share? Can you see this or not?
I don't see it yet.
All right, hold on. I'll come back to it.
All right. And there was a question. Okay. I see what I missed a question. I think Brad was saying there was another question earlier that was good, but I couldn't find it. So hopefully they'll have the question up. Is it normal to have oh, go for it.
Okay. Oh, sorry. It's okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Try to open. I don't know why it's there. Why does it keep opening into this? Oh, I see. No, go ahead with your question, man. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Quickie, is it normal to have a few blurry or darker pixels on a new TV? Oh, weird. Pixels should be consistent, but then again, do a pixel refresh, and then if it still happens, I don't think it's normal. What do you guys think about that?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm assuming he's talking OLED, but yeah. Are you talking about OLED?
Yeah, are you talking OLED? Or let's say both. Let's say it's an LCD TV, first of all.
I mean, it's fairly normal to have a few dead pixels or partially dead pixels, but I don't know about blurry or darker.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. Oh, a real super chat. Thank you, ID. Odds on HTA9 competitor announced at CES. Odds are high. I think people are realizing that this 4 speakers placed wherever you want with good sound quality can be done with DSP quite easily. So I wouldn't be surprised you're going to get a bunch of copycats out of China doing this for a lot less. We're talking probably $500. I cannot imagine that those 4 speakers, the actual components in the Sony, cost any more than a few hundred. So if you throw in some margin, some solid DSP, you could probably get the HTA9 straight out of a random Anchor type Chinese company for under 600, and we're probably going to see it at CES. I'll be looking for it. I'll let you guys know.
Here we go. I can share this now.
Okay.
So here, this is my wife's amazing chef. She loves Thanksgiving, so we had turkey, stuffing, potatoes. She makes a cheesy corn that's amazing. There's us cheersing up. So yeah, we had a good time at Thanksgiving. There's the dishwasher. So he was taking care of the dishes. I don't know if you guys can see Caesar, the pug.
Wow.
But yeah, we had a good Thanksgiving. I hope you guys did too.
I definitely did. Is OLED the only upgrade a satisfied plasma owner would like? Yes.
I think that some bright LED, like a QN90A, they'll like too, won't they? I mean, people always tell me that they were like, I'm a plasma owner, so I have to go to LCD. Like OLED wouldn't be good enough. Have you ever heard that comment? What do you say to that?
That's interesting. Yeah.
I got a lot of people that would say that they thought that OLEDs would be too dim for them coming from plasma. And I disagree, but I'm just saying.
The plasma does not get brighter than OLED. I don't know where they're getting that.
The only thing is you might not like the motion.
That's it. That's the only
that too.
criticism.
That's the other part. Yeah.
What is the best mount for the 77-inch A80J? What is the best mount? I like Sonys generally. So
yeah, I didn't like my big Sonys mount. I took it back. I don't know if I told you that big monster mount. I took it back and I kept the one from Costco that was 130. So I was fine with it. It's just that big one was not, it was just swaying around and I couldn't lock it down as good. So it was a waste of money for me. But yeah, I definitely think there's some good ones at Costco. You can just get the tilt and extend mount to turn it left and right.
Do you buy NFTs? I'm just shopping for NFTs. Yeah, I don't have one yet, but I am very interested in getting one. How about you, Classy, Brandon? You guys got NFTs in your pocket?
Not yet, but we have that channel called NFT Playbook that you and I are on once in a while.
We're shopping.
Yeah, so we're looking into it.
Definitely. I cannot answer this because I do not have the NVIDIA Shield TV Pro remote. But what are your thoughts? A90J remote or the NVIDIA Shield TV Pro remote?
I really like both. It just comes down to, do you want a big, long, thin remote with a lot of buttons, or do you want the little, just very few buttons, small remote? I
like to use the Sony remote if you can use it, just because Then you have the audio settings. I get into my Bluetooth headphones and turn them on and off real quick. So I have to use it. I am a little annoyed that the paint is chipping off my remote. So I'm seeing light come through all the keys. Like, like my volume up button is kind of getting a little wear on it. So obviously I'll make the proper complaints to Sony once I need to, but it's
fine. I bought the A90 remote and then it fell on the couch and got a gash in it.
Oh yeah. Oh, so hey. Maybe I'll do. I'll just keep FOMO's good remote, and I'll send him mine.
I'll be like, "What the heck is all this?" Like, there's
then you can just be like, "Sony, you sent me a bad remote."
It comes with dog saliva.
Yeah, it has like hair in the cracks. It's got dog hair in the cracks. Hey, you can just trim it with your lawnmower 4.0.
Now I'm afraid you may have trimmed it with your lawnmower. Now it ends up on my.
Yeah. Now we got all kinds of weird things. And while we're talking weird, why don't we just put the balls on his face?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
There you go. So yeah, make sure you guys hit up our sponsor manscaped.com in the comments or in the description. We have a 25% off. If you go to manscaped.com/remote, you'll get to use our code 25% off. You don't have to add any codes or anything. Just hook it up. I got a bunch of stuff here. All of it was sent to us, but it's like the entire thing that we were sent, I think, is like $90 after our discount. And trust me, it is way worth it. There's so much crap that they send you for $90.
I do think so.
Body wash. So. I mean, even just give it a shot, get something for your hairy brother or something. Just send him this for Christmas.
Hey, even if it doesn't have hair, right? They'll appreciate it. Hey, thank you,
your hairy
Nicholas.
sister.
That's so sad.
Hey, I don't know, man.
You never know. Hey, Nicholas, thanks for the super chat. Hey, guys, sorry I'm late to the party. Oh, you just made it. Much love. Stop the FOMO. I just bought your coffee mug. Thank you. I forgot to show you guys.
Nice. A coffee mug. Oh, yeah, he's got a cool coffee mugs. Yeah. They're awesome.
TVs and coffee, right?
TVs and coffee.
That's what I've been drinking. Hey, guys, sorry, late to the party. And be the installer, I really want your A90J TV. One day I'll own an OLED. One day will come sooner rather than later. Prices are dropping next year. Hopefully you get one. Let us know when you do.
For sure. Oh, sorry, I got this thing still up on Classy's face. I was trying to leave it up there all day. Sorry about that.
All good. Here we go.
Questions. Come on, fire these questions at us, man. We got more
right here.
Questions.
Our TV is a good long-term investment. If you consider investment daily happiness, the answer is yes. It will bring you daily happiness, but that's not investment advice.
You know how they say like
financial investment? No.
Financial.
Yeah, you know how they say like, was it buy a house, lease a car? It's like don't buy a TV is the third one. Just save your money. Use your phone. No, I mean TVs are awesome.
That's my kids.
Yeah, just use my phone. I watch a lot of TV.
Hey, any thoughts on LG Bastard Child W Series OLED? It might be my next TV in 5 years. Which Bastard Child W Series OLED are we talking about here?
Is there the WX or whatever? The like, isn't there like wallpaper OLED or something?
Oh, the wallpaper. Okay, that's a super thin one. Is that it?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it is. I think I've seen the WX, or it's like the glass one. I can't remember. I thought they had something like that.
Great question for you, Brandon. Would you trust a spiral TV stand to hold the 83-inch A90J?
What is a spiral stand?
I don't know either. A spiral TV stand? Is that
like an arm mount, or is that like something you can turn around in a circle? I don't know.
Well, just generally speaking, as far as a recommendation, a TV stand, the A90J comes with its own stand, right? So
it does. I think he does mean something that can turn it, or maybe something to go under it. I don't know what a spiral stand is, I guess.
I don't either.
Yeah.
What content should I watch to compare A80J versus A90J? Need to decide which one to keep.
Well, I had go on the Netflix movie Over the Moon. You can see some of the just like how intense the color is on the A90J. Just a little bit brighter, more intense. But there's probably some specular highlight ones you have in mind.
It would have to be Mad Max. Compare the scenes side by side. The super bright scenes, bright within bright.
Oh, the fire! Remember the fire from the guitar? That's right.
Fire from the guitar and the Pan's Labyrinth. That scene where the ship is sailing and you have that bright sun. See how bright the sun gets. But those are kind of my top two. How about you, Classic? What do you have that would help them distinguish?
I just told them look for any like 4,000 nit graded content.
Aquaman
that's really
is
bright.
One.
Yeah. Anything like bright outdoor scenes with explosions, like the airport fight in Civil War, things like that.
And let's see, here we go. What are your thoughts? I'm comparing 75-inch U7G to the 82-inch Q6DT or the Q8. So I'm assuming this is 82-inch. Okay. I thought the Q60 is an 85-inch. only, right? Am I missing?
So this is the
These are like
basically
Costco ones.
Q60T,
Yeah.
which Costco gets an 82-inch of.
Last
The
year. Okay.
Q8B, I think, is basically a Q80T, but this year model.
And neither of these are IPS panels. These are VA panels then, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So the Hisense U7G 75-inch is an IPS panel. Its contrast and relatively speaking, picture quality will not compare, I think, to those two TVs from Samsung. So I'd go with the Samsung, but I haven't seen any of them. That's my guess. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think the Q8B is the best one here because I'm pretty sure it's like a rebranded Q80T that they
Which
just
is
literally.
fine.
I think it
Yeah.
even says Q80T on the box, and they just didn't bother to change the box.
Oh
but,
yeah.
yeah.
Then it's got to be pretty darn close. It's a size difference too. So
The NVIDIA remote, is it backlit?
NVIDIA.
Like
Yes.
A90J? Okay.
Yep.
Answer is yes.
Good for them. Good for them.
What is the best Thanksgiving dessert this year? I like the apple pie we got at Costco. So
we have
Go
the apple.
Costco.
My wife makes apple crisp.
Pumpkin pie from Costco.
yeah.
Dude, I am going to be scarfing down some food. As soon as I leave this, I'm going to eat Thanksgiving
Me
dinner
too.
again for sure.
Yeah, I have a week's worth of Thanksgiving turkey. I got to get down now. And let's hit a few more here. Looking for your fast attack questions, everyone. Best soundbar, 75-inch X95J. Since you're saying soundbar, I'd say the Sony A7000. Why not? It's a Sony. It's a little bit expensive. Get it with a subwoofer. Or the Samsung QN950A or the JBL 9.1. It comes with subwoofer and surrounds and everything. But off the top of my head, those are a couple that would match the size of the 75-inch. What are you guys' suggestions?
I just think for good value that Costco has the Klipsch 700 for $550, and then you can add surrounds for $300. So you're $850.
There you go.
Not bad. I think the Sonys Arc for that similar price, $800 for a nice, pretty solid Atmos soundbar is pretty good. Or the Samsung Q950A. I've heard a lot of people like that. And it's on discount. I don't think I would care about. I don't know if I heard that the 700 is not that great of a soundbar from the A700. So I don't know if I even get
the
that.
7000 HT.
Yeah, the 7000. I was never a big fan of Sony soundbars, period. So to see that the A9 is so good, I'm pretty excited. But yeah.
Yep. I'd go with the larger soundbars because small one and a large TV, it just looks kind of weird. So I like the A7000 because it visually matches the size of your TV. And for me, that's why I don't like soundbars. It's like it's visually, there's just something amiss when it's too small, your TV's too big. And let's see. Oh, do you put up Christmas lights? It is up. My son came down from college, and the first thing I did was, "Hey, can you pull the Christmas tree out of the garage?" So
Nice.
he and my sister put up the TV with the lights. So yeah, lights are up on my place. How about you guys?
We will be eventually. I got to get it going.
Oh, are we going? Are we ending? This is it?
No. I mean, I got to get it going. I'm lazy.
Ah,
no, I'm lazy. Like not right
so
now.
lazy.
It's like 85 degrees out right now. I'm not doing anything. It's hot out here. Got the Santa Ana winds blowing from Arizona today.
Best gaming TV for cheap. Does the size matter when gaming? I think the size really matters in terms of immersiveness. The bigger, the better. So if we're going guest gaming TV for cheap, how about $1,000 TCL 5 Series 75-inch? And you can game 4K HDR locked. What do you think, Passy?
Yeah, I mean 75-inch. Trying to think. Yeah, or even the 75-inch R646 at $1,300. That's the same price as the 55-inch QN90A or C1. And if your budget's less, then I like the Q70A. If you want 120 hertz with working VRR, and then less than that is the 5 Series.
There you go. Hopefully that helped you with your decision making. And here we go. Any soundbars with eARC with sub out?
That Klipsch, the Klipsch 700.
That's the one. I was going to say, I have been waiting for something like that, and that one does it. So there's not too many options with a sub out because everyone has their proprietary sub system that's already connected. But if the Klipsch 700 does that, there you go. That's probably the only one, right? I don't know of any other that has a sub out on a soundbar. Okay. But just remember, don't get too large of a sub bill, because now your sub is so powerful, your soundbar can't keep up, and then you're gonna get rid of your soundbar eventually, which is fine, I guess. Can't complain. Upgrade. Did you guys watch the Philips TV shoot up? I saw parts of it off of AV forums, and it turns out that when everything's calibrated, it all looks the same. So pretty much that's the case. Oh, it's indistinguishable when it's calibrated. What is interesting is if it's in vivid mode, the Philips is the best. So if you guys watch vivid mode and you're in Europe, I guess Philips is the way for you, right? Did either of you catch that kind of sponsored shootout from Philips?
No.
Yeah, that's the weirdest weird thing, but it ends up concluding when it's calibrated, all the OLEDs look very similar, which is exactly kind of what we talk about. Is it's so close, you have to be looking at specific content to see the differences. All right, Julio Braza, upgrading from a 55-inch 1080 60 hertz TV, thinking of upgrading to a 75-inch QN98, but have a hard time paying $2,350. Is that TV that much better than the 75-inch TCL 646 for $1,300? Any suggestions? Well, how do you define better, my friend? Because there's a lot of things that's better than that, and that could be Tizen, right? Tizen's a little bit better, but you're paying for a whole lot more, which is really the entire technology stack that's on the Samsung that's not on the TCL. But are you willing to put up with the risk of getting a TCL R646? I think $1,300 is a great deal. Get it. Make sure you have a generous return policy. In many dark scenes, the QN98 will do better with blooming than the TCL, and that's why you're getting the Samsung, is consistency in dark scenes. But you could split right in the middle and get the Sony X95J for $1,300. It's right in between those two, right?
X90. Oh, is it really?
Yeah, $2,300 for the
75-inch.
75-inch.
Yeah, $2,300.
2,300, 2,600 the QN98, save a few hundred.
Well, he's saying you can go for $2,350, so it's only $50 difference.
Oh yeah, $2,350. Mm-hmm. Or you can go down even further, 1,900 QN84A, right?
The U7G too. I think a lot of people won't notice like the black level detail.
They might not.
For twice the price or $1,000 more, that's a different class of TV. So if you can get similar quality for like a completely different price structure, like you got to go with some. I think most people would probably say, hey, I'll just get that TCL, or that's probably why they're asking us to give them a good recommendation for the $1,500 and less range.
Then maybe for an extra $300 classy, you go with a $1,600 75-inch X90J.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for me, if he's coming from a 1080p 60, I'm assuming it's an older TV, so he probably keeps them for a long time. So if you want reliability, long lasting, not no bugs, then go for the X90J, X95J, or the QN90A. Like I think about it, that $1,000 more over 5 to 10 years is not very much money.
This is a good question because I think Costco has some great all-in-one 5.1 systems, right? My go-to is if you just want a 5.1 system that you can put together with a receiver, 5 speakers, and a sub, Costco is putting up some amazing packages with Klipsch. I think if this is where you're going, I wouldn't be able to build anything that's less expensive than the Costco and perform better. And even for more money, it won't necessarily perform that much better. But if you're looking for a 5.1 in some other form, like a soundbar or something, let us know. But just a regular system, Costco is killing it with some of these packages, I think.
Yep. Yeah. So Costco also just started carrying an Onkyo receiver that has 3 HDMI 2.1 ports that work and dual HDMI 2.1 out. So first time we can have 4K 120 HDR on 2 screens from the same source. So I'm going to order that and do a video on it.
Yeah, do that. There's a lot of people wondering how that sounds. You're welcome, Guru. And Kush has a question. $650 for the 55-inch TCL 6 series or $1,000 for the X90J. Well, what are you looking for? Out of the box, color accurate. You don't want to fiddle with it. Go for the X90J. If it was for my parents, I'd give them the X90J only because they see the Sony. They feel good about it. I know the color's accurate out of the box. Not a lot of fiddling. Maybe Netflix, you have to be careful a little bit. But other than that, it's fine. The risk that they're going to have to deal with TCL's possible bad TV QC out of the box is higher. Sony, not so the risk isn't that high. So it was for my parents. I'd go with the X90J. But if it's me, I'd go the 650 and tweak it until I like it, because I do like the deeper blacks and the better local dimming on the $650 R646. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
For the 55-inch, I'm just not a huge fan of the $1,000 for the X90J. I think the 75 is really priced really well. I think the 55 should come down to like $850. But if that's not what matters, and if it's just for parents or whatever, I just think the TCLs are just going to be too buggy.
Anyone have any experience with eARC problems? A80J Sonos? I don't have the Sonos, so I can't comment on that. Oh, hey, you're on mute.
I have A90J and Sonys Arc, and I have no issues. And I had no issues connecting it to the A80J either. It was perfectly fine. It worked. eARC worked all the time. Sounded perfect. So I'm not. Yeah, I sometimes I think a lot of I'm not saying this person Kushberger specifically is not a tech person, but I think sometimes it's like either eARC's not enabled, or they got it plugged into the wrong port, or maybe your HDMI cord doesn't support eARC. There's all these different reasons why. Just reset it, make sure everything's connected right, make sure it's enabled. It should work fine.
All right. And what do you guys think of the brand Sharp? Almost forgot about that brand. They make pretty good TVs, Aquos 8K, apparently. Well, not in the USA. So Sharp in Japan is a completely different company. Sharp in the USA is a relicensed brand. I know there's word that they've taken it back, but I have yet to see any amazing TVs coming to the USA from Sharp. But yeah, in Japan, they're still working hard at making good TVs, but it's hard to comment on it because we don't get it here.
Yeah, I thought Best Buy bought them and they just rebranded the insignias.
Yeah. What was that, Brandon?
Wasn't there some sort of was it Toshiba, or who was with Hisense? I forget.
Hisense had Sharp briefly, and then they bought it from Hisense, and now they have it back.
So they had like the name or something. I think
they licensed it to Hisense.
They took the name, all that. So I mean, you're talking about these companies are all over the map, but that's why I wanted to mention it, because like Hisense had the name for a bit. A new player, Hisense is on, Sharp is off. Hisense TVs are probably better than the Sharp TVs were. Anyways,
I think 75-inch QN900A. Do they have more dimming zones than 65-inch? Yes, they do. As a matter of fact, I think if you are considering the QN900A, don't get the 65-inch, get the 75-inch. I think that is truly expressing its entire technology stack. The 65-inch has a few compromises that you're not seeing the full power of the QN900A. So if you are considering the QN900A, go 75 or 85, but don't go 65. And best brightest TV out there with good color. The best with good color. Sony A90J. That's my thing. But then the LG G1 won the HDR color accuracy contest. So what do I know? What do you guys think about the best brightest TV out there with good color?
I'm wondering if does he mean like can get really bright while maintaining the color, so high color volume?
Hey, let's just say that. Yeah, let's say that's his question.
So if it's high color volume, I think wouldn't that be like the QN90A or 900A?
Yeah, could be, or X95J. Why not? I mean, sorry, Z9J. What do you think? Super duper bright. I don't know about its color volume, but it can get really bright. Or brightest TV you could buy today. Thanks, guys. Thank you, CMS, for the super chat. I appreciate all your content. Even though I've made my decision, I'll keep following you all. Even 4-hour calibration streams with plenty of vodka. Is that what it takes to follow a calibration stream? It might be. Well, it's like a baseball game. You guys remember like Vince Scully? You just sit there and wash your card, a baseball game. All right. That's funny. And shout out to KG. Yeah, we'll make sure he gets this message. You've made it when idiots from Florida are calling you out. Wonder who he's talking about. Okay. And all right, it's 1:00. You want us to wrap this up, Brandon? Are we good?
I mean, it's up to you guys. I mean, I'm probably good. Move on with the day. I'm sure people all have other things to do. I mean, I think it's awesome everyone's here. Make sure to hit the like button and let me throw up the sponsor one more time. We were fortunate enough to be sponsored by manscaped.com. Right. They were so cool to help us out here. We're, if you guys want to support this and you're not going to buy a TV today, go down to manscaped.com/remote in the description. Click on that, check out the website, see if you think there's something worth purchasing. I'm very happy with the products. I think it's awesome. And you get 25% off the entire website by using the link in our description, because you don't have to enter any codes or anything. So make sure you guys do that before you take off. And go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, wait, go ahead. What were you
I was going to say, you guys tell them to email me and they can borrow my mascot.
There you go.
And I was going to say, it's a perfect site for stocking stuffers because they have all price ranges, right? From $12 all the way up to packages that are over $100. But I love that they have fun stocking stuffers like the Reviver Ball Toner. This is going to go into a lot of stocking stuffers for my friends this year, because I think
nice.
And they're going to go back for more. So that's my favorite stocking stuffer. And the second one that I really like is the boxers. I'm a huge fan of their boxers. I cannot say enough good things about the Manscaped boxer briefs. All right, so that about wraps it up for today's live stream. And before we get off, you guys want to announce anything or share anything special for you guys happening this weekend?
Go ahead, guys.
I'm just going to finish up A90J videos. They'll start coming out next week. And then I'm going to try and get the QN900A.
There you go.
And there you go.
I'm just planning. I'm just going to check and see. I'm trying to just get some big TVs and do some cool installation and unboxing. I think I'd like to do an unboxing video where I unbox it, put it on a stand, and install it on the wall and kind of show the entire process, just so people can feel if that's something they want to do as far as the size of the TV and if it's worth it. So I'm going to try to do all of that. And just go from there. I'm looking forward to CES, definitely going to that. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm down for people. Let me know, and let me know in the comments below after the video's over, what TVs you want to see compared again. I've got a bunch of comparison videos, but I still would be happy to compare some TVs.
Yeah, we got time. We got TVs. Go ahead.
And if anyone can let me know, do you care to see my video where I'm going to have the camera comparison? Like, it's the same TV, the same footage. Do you just want to see how it looks shot different ways on different cameras? Or should I just leave that for us for private? Because I don't think it's going to really be important to a lot of people.
No, but you know what? That's a good video. I mean, you could almost make another channel about this kind of stuff, because I mean, you're getting technical into that. That's cool. Like where, people, enthusiasts would like to hear some of that content about how good the different cameras shoot content, So whether it's on your channel or a new one, it's definitely interesting to some people. I've found that out that, if you're passionate into it, there's a lot of people that probably are.
Yeah, because there's no one out there telling you how to shoot a TV with a camera.
No, it's hard. And you know what? I even looked up before I had found out how to soften the focus, because I was having that same issue where I couldn't, when I was focused in, it would keep doing that wacky, focusing. And now I kind of manually ring it out to just be focused a little away from it. But I've even seen it today on FOMO's hat. When you look down, it's been doing it on your hat a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I just saw that. Right.
The HTA9 speakers do it terribly. I don't know if you saw that when you record the HTA9 speakers, it was doing that. And so, yeah, that was one of those things.
I think I just made the more worse by wearing the straw hat now. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming out today. And last question, why people not talking about the Z9J? It's a great TV, right? It is a great TV, but no one can afford it. That's why. Okay, until next time, pass the remote